CBSBank.com to find a location near you or apply online today. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
1819 News.
The Alabama Policy Institute has announced the creation of a new state version of the upcoming Department of Government Efficiency that will start under the Donald Trump administration. AL-DOGE has the similar mission of fighting waste in state government and promoting efficiency. There are several areas that AL-DOGE will be seeking to address: lack of transparency in state government, regulatory overreach, as well as government growth and overspending. The Alabama Policy Institute is pointing out that Alabama has a tax revenue that has grown to $6.3 billion in the past decade, and yet the taxpayers here in the state are seeing very little improvement within state government when it comes to responsiveness and efficiency. AL-DOGE is in complete agreement with the comments that were recently made by Vivek Ramaswamy, who will be the co-chairman of the DOGE with Elon Musk. Ramaswamy says that success of DOGE will be measured not just in cost savings, but in the restoration of self-governance here in America. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
I'm Amy Beth Schaefer with Alabama Unfiltered Radio, and when I need the news and I need it fast, I turn to Andrea Tice and the Daily Detail. On my way in, it is the most convenient, best way for me to digest what's going on so that I can use it for our show. She tells you what's going on in Alabama that day first and fast. So listen to the Daily Detail with Andrea Tice. Don't miss out.
The Daily Detail is available wherever podcasts are found.
A Calhoun County woman has gone missing this week and is believed to have been abducted and in danger. 36-year-old Brandy Brooks is white, 5'2", 125 pounds, with blonde hair and hazel eyes. Brandy Brooks also has a lower right lip piercing. The woman was last seen on Spring Road in Ohatchee this past Tuesday, December 17th. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
At AMS Studios, give the gift of self-care this season and get a little extra. When you purchase a gift certificate for $100 or more, receive a stocking stuffed with $60 worth of free spa gifts, or select a gift certificate for our $105 luxury facial, and you'll receive an additional $120 worth of medical-grade skin treatments added to it, absolutely free. Find us on Facebook or stop by in downtown Prattville at AMS Studios.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. And here's why. This time of year is decision time for a lot of people, but it's also when you can join Medi-Share and save even more than usual. For many families, joining Medi-Share means saving about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people, obviously. But what's more, Medi-Share members like it. Their satisfaction rate is 98%. Imagine that. And Medi-Share is a proven thing, too, for over 30 years. It's a Christian community of hundreds of thousands of people now. And here's the thing. If you join before December 31st and you mention the promo code SHARE, they'll waive your application fee. So you save even more right off the bat. I'll give you the number here in a second, but just call and you'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline is December 31st. So call now and you'll save even more. Here's the number, 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE, 855-51-BIBLE.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
After damning politicians uphill and down dale for many years as rogues, vagabonds, frauds, and scoundrels, I sometimes suspect that, like everyone else, I often expect too much of them.
It's all Fugazi. You know what Fugazi is?
Fugazi. It's a fake.
Yeah, Fugazi, Fugazi. It's a wazi, it's a woozy, it's a fairy dust. It doesn't exist. It's never landed. It is no matter. It's not on the elemental chart. It's not real.
Right. Merry Christmas, you filthy animal, and a Happy New Year.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into the program. Of all days to say it's a fugazi, it's a wazi, it's a woozy, when we look at what Congress is doing, I swear, Congress is just a front for some criminal organization. I'm not saying every member of Congress, not saying every House representative or senator. I'm saying there are either folks playing the game or they're fighting it or they're unwitting. But whatever this group is that does this every frickin' Christmas holiday, it's essentially theft. It's a shakedown operation. Congress is nothing more than a front for organized crime at this point.
Yeah.
And it's hard to put your finger on who's actually running the gang.
Protection racket.
But man, thank God we have folks that can now speak out about this. They better vote no. Of course. With the hurricane stuff. But the hurricane and the flooding and all this stuff. It's like, then why are you holding those people hostage?
Exactly.
So you can get a 40% pay raise.
Exactly.
Well, it's hard living in two places at once. Anyway, just to cheer everybody up before we go to our regular guest, Donald Trump at 3 a.m. 3 in the morning.
So I'm not the only old man that has trouble sleeping at night.
Yeah. He put out, many Canadians want Canada to become the 51st state. He continues to troll Trudeau.
He's just responding to the people that keep texting him and begging him.
Let's go to the phones, and I had to get my little rant out here, but we have the one, the only Jeff Poor, host of the Jeff Poor Show there at 106.5 FM in the Mobile, Fairhope area, and he's, of course, editor-in-chief at 1819news.com. Jeff, how you doing this afternoon?
Doing well, Joey. Thanks for having me on.
I mean, do you share my frustration, or where are you at as you're seeing this latest Christmas tree being put together by the Congress?
I'm very desensitized to a lot of this, but it's not surprising. I think we probably knew this was coming after Trump won the election, that this CR was going to be this bad. Maybe what I'm a little shocked by is just how willing Speaker Johnson is and complicit he is in a lot of this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he'll take some hits. And does he survive it? Probably. I don't know. But it's going to be a bumpy ride for him. That's probably the biggest shocker. Like I said, we knew it was going to be loaded with a bunch of garbage, but I didn't expect the Speaker of the House to be kind of a player like he is in this without putting his foot down on some of it.
Yeah, and I don't know, though, if vacating the chair even changes anything. Like, as soon as he became Speaker of the House, he became like a different person, and I've seen that people talk about that in interviews who knew Johnson, who thought, man, this guy's, he might be the real deal. And I maintain it's almost like it's a front for some criminal organization. And even the folks that are leaders of the House of Representatives are like scared little children after they become powerful, so-called.
Well, there's probably, Joey, there's probably 10, 15 real true believers who are, when they say that this is as bad as this, to the Thomas Masseys and guys like that.
Yeah.
And there's probably 100 Republicans who are feigning outrage right now about it, who will just go along and vote for it anyway, but they'll act upset about it, and that's the way it's always been. And I don't know why this is a surprise to a lot of people.
Oh, it's certainly not a surprise to me. It's just after that huge victory for Trump, and it's just, as much as they talk about democracy and the will of the people, and we're taking care of people with this latest CR, it's like y'all have no respect at all.
No.
You have utter contempt, it seems, for the latest voice of the people with this latest election. I think you're right, though. I think there are a lot of folks that are like, this is business as usual. Even if I want it, Joey, I'd love to fight it. Jeff, I'd love to fight it, but I mean, you can't fight it. You see what happened to the one guy who really shook things up, Matt Gaetz. And I guess that's my next question. What do you make of this vote to release the Matt Gaetz ethics complaint?
Well, I guess it's a little bit of a payback thing. Gaetz was never popular in the chamber among Democrats or Republicans. And I don't know, it breaks precedent, though. I mean, we need to start releasing ethics reports on all of these people, guilty or innocent. and find out exactly. I mean, is this going to be the new way forward? Fine, just don't apply a one standard to Matt Gaetz and the other standard to everybody else.
Well, and I think it fits too well in that, for better or for worse, he's the one who really stirred things up in this last Congress, and made himself enemy number one with everybody you just described. And so it's just, okay, we'll break precedent because this guy, he went a little too far. You're right. Let's let it all out. You don't get to keep your little secrets and weaponize them when it's useful.
I mean, it seems like some of this was frivolous. Not all of it was. I mean, he acted really, really close to the lines here, Joey.
Oh, sure.
But
yeah.
He ousted a speaker. The speaker could have put an end to it, and McCarthy never would. And I think McCarthy underestimated Gaetz. And now he's on the outside looking in, McCarthy is. But, had he had it to do over, if Gaetz doesn't bring the motion to vacate the chair and really make that push, is McCarthy still there today? Would he have done it differently? I don't know. I mean, these are like things that you think about, just keeping the peace. But this is how the game is literally played in Washington, D.C. I mean, I know people in Montgomery think that's how the state government works. It's not, but that's high-level stuff. And I'm surprised that Gaetz scored the blow there. He had a bunch of people come along with him to get McCarthy ousted, but he had to know that if he was successful, or he failed even, that there were going to be consequences.
Yeah, and here they come, and I'll get to his statement a little later. I think it's actually a fairly honest one. You're right, though. He not just played with the line, I think, in Congress, but he flirted with the line and how he was living his life in his 20s and 30s. And so I suspect there's a lot of embarrassing, immoral behavior. But if somebody hasn't they've been investigated, aren't criminally charged, and yet you still throw all this stuff out there, it's just, business as usual. And I find myself frustrated with it today. Another story that just won't die is the ongoing drones in the sky. I mean, where are you at with this at this point, Jeff, with all the theories around what the heck these things are?
I know. I guess I would have to be there to see them for myself to give you a real honest assessment. But I know the federal government is lying to us by pleading ignorance and pleading, we don't know what this is and there's nothing to see here, nothing to fear here. There may be nothing to fear here after all, or maybe there's not. So they're making it worse by not just being upfront with the public. And I never understand this. Like, these people in power who operate on these need-to-know bases seem like they just make things worse, because this is the kind of government we agreed to, right?
Right.
We never we demand an honest we demand honest approach. We demand transparency, and you can't. If you start playing with that and you start breaking that rule, that people are just going to be automatically suspicious. What did they think was going to happen? They're damn near close causing a panic.
Oh, yeah, and they're now warning, the FBI is now warning New Jersey residents not to shoot down or point lasers at the drones. So we don't know what they are. Well, maybe it's an Iranian thing. Oh, actually, Mike McCall came out and said, no, I think it's Chinese. It's the Chinese. But we don't know what they are, or maybe they're state actors, but don't shoot them and don't point lasers at them. And to me,
somebody's going to shoot. Somebody's going to shoot it down. I mean, it's just a matter of time.
Yeah. And that would be, I think, a worthy folk hero. Not this Luigi Mangione guy, but whoever shoots down the drone and records it.
Depends on where it lands.
Probably going to get a lot of trouble, legally speaking, but that'll be a true folk hero right there. And I think it's a power play. I think it's another one of these, look, we need these extra authorities to be able to handle these things. And if you just read between the lines with some of the interviews senators are giving, saying, we've seen these over bases over the last few years and stuff. It just seems like they're priming the pump to do something and get extra.
I feel like it's a I mean, it's so Orwellian, right? What if it is a kind of psyop? They just want to see how the public reacts, or they want to put fear in the public just to see how they would react to something like that. I mean, it's like straight out of what they do with in 1984 with committing the terror attacks on their own people. Maybe not quite to the extreme where, you have explosives or something, but you're putting fear into the public, and it's sad. But we're smart enough to kind of figure it out. We're not that scared of our federal government. For people, the news coverage of it is just wall to wall.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess we'll see. It's like Trump can't get in there soon enough. Like, this is the longest, like, time slowed down. It's a time warp here in this transition process. I know
but what if the New Jersey governor puts the National Guard out there and they really do go after these things? What are they going to have, a little standoff with the Biden administration? Well, what's going to happen? Because the people of New Jersey sound like they are, and it's the blue state, right?
Yeah.
They sound like they're the ones that are really getting fed up with this. Well, what happens then? Whose side do you think the American people are going to be on if they try to do something? That's where we're headed with this. Something like that is going to happen, I'm telling you.
Yeah, we didn't have him on this week, but I was in kind of emailing Judge Napolitano, who lives there in Jersey, said he had one come over his land, like kind of hovered, and as soon as he went outside, it scooted off. And so, like, okay, we've got people I know who are seeing these things up front saying it's odd. It makes no sense. So we'll just mark that up as another maybe psyop. Before I let you go, I want to get to something here locally, or at least state important. State House Minority Leader Anthony Daniels was recently on your show, as you know, and I find myself agreeing with him wholeheartedly on this overtime tax thing. Why is it with Republican majorities we can't keep a tax cut for people that want to work overtime?
I'll tell you what's interesting. The budget chairman in the Senate is Arthur Orr, who I think is an honorable gentleman.
Sure.
He is tasked with protecting he is tasked with protecting the Education Trust Fund and not allowing frivolous spending, and he does a pretty good job of it. But he takes his duties very seriously, and we talk about frivolous spending. He considers these tax cuts to be frivolous spending. I mean, it's backwards thinking, right?
Yes.
So he's very adamant that we need to be careful here and not do this and risk putting ourselves in another proration situation or whatever. But what it's created is some interesting politics where you have the historically Republicans or the conservative, the tax cut or reduce the size of government types, and you have Anthony Daniels tooting that horn, and you have Orr, like a top Republican in Montgomery, going the other way with it. And, it's just contradiction of values that we're seeing at play here. But I tell you, I think the problem here, and the Republican supermajority has got to get on board with this. They have got to stop thinking about these budgets as some kind of sacred cows and start thinking about ways to reduce the size of these budgets. Start thinking about ways to cut government. That is the populist conservative mantra right now. That's where the public is. They don't seem interested in it. And like I said, they just want to build all these rainy day funds, keep these streams of revenue coming in, and they are not interested in looking at the other side of it, which is reducing the spending.
Yeah, and I mean, the numbers are pretty astounding, like actually how much government and spending has grown here in Alabama. I think API put out that whole AL Doge idea they have, which I think is a pretty good idea. Over the past 5 years, ETF general fund spending has grown 52.3%. Or wait, no, that's over the last decade, 26.5% over the last 5 years. Excuse me, pardon me, folks, but over 50% in the last decade.
It's still way outpacing inflation, right? And it's way outpacing the growth of the state and the growth of the state's economy. What are we doing here? We're giving out a lot of teacher pay raises. We're doing a lot of things. Now, I asked Anthony Daniels this. If you're going to cut government, where do you start? Of course, he went straight for school choice. $100 million, he said, is being consumed on school choice. But, I mean, like, we got to start arranging some priorities. And some of these capital improvements and some of these teacher pay raises need to be put on local governments and their property taxes and their own revenue and shoring those up. I don't think the state needs to be responsible as much as they are. I mean, to some degree they are, but 4 teacher pay raises, or 4 years in a row of teacher pay raises or whatever, it's time to back away from that a little bit. It's not that we are overpaying our teachers by any stretch of the imagination, but we're still not getting great results, and we're spending a lot more money. And I this isn't working. It's not performing the essential government service that it's an mission statement, So that's the whole Anthony Daniels argument. Put money back in people's hands. Well, I'm going to just say this real quick, Joey.
Mm-hmm.
The education trust fund budget is approaching $10 billion. Wow. And yeah, so if this is $200 million or if it's $500 million, it's a fraction of the overall budget. It's not. So they just need to maybe think about maybe not building a health sciences school in Demopolis, Alabama, or places like that, or just back off some of this stuff.
Well, and
rethink it.
And the protection of the status quo as like, well, we're being responsible stewards of the people of Alabama's money and yada, yada, yada. But to your point you just made, the results, like how many people can't read who go through the public school, can't do basic math. Like y'all are failing in fundamental ways and the budget's $10 billion. Why is failure being rewarded?
And one more thing on that. I mean, we have turned our education system upside down now. For years and years, Joey, probably when you and I were coming up, it was all about college prep and getting a good ACT or SAT score and having all these math components, knowing how to calculate quadratic equations and all of that. So fine. And then about 10 years ago, they said, well, wait a second, everybody's going to college and nobody's coming to work. We need to do workforce development, which is fine. But what they're doing is specialized. They're just training the employees for these big manufacturing facilities around the state. Is that necessarily the best use of our education? Like, we could talk about that, like these very specialized fields at like Mercedes-Benz or Toyota Mazda or wherever it may be, and they're in a way subsidizing the workforce training for these manufacturing facilities. Is that something the education budget needs to be doing? We should provide a public education. We decided a long time ago that we were going to do public education in this country, but we got to draw the line somewhere.
Yeah, and it's just, I find it an odd thing that on this particular issue, I agree with one of the top Democrats in the state. I think he's right on this. And he's not right on school choice. I think there's a lot of room to disagree with Mr. Daniels, but I find that this is the right move. And if Democrats here in the state continue to make these sort of populist plays, they might actually make inroads. That's been a long, ongoing conversation. What are the Dems going to do?
And one more thing. I know we're way long here, but on Anthony Daniels' point here, the bud they had projected this overtime tax exemption only costs $38 million, which really is a drop in the bucket. And then it's like 7, 8, 9 times what they stated it was. They got the projection really, really wrong. So I think there is a reason to be concerned about that. I mean, maybe there is an honest gripe to be had.
Yeah, no, and it needs to be worked out. It's just I like in principle the idea of tax cuts, especially for people who are willing to put in the work overtime. I think it's just a good idea. The people of the state. I always appreciate your time, Jeff. And if folks want to check out what you're writing about, think about, how can they do so?
X.com/Jeff_Poor.
All right. Appreciate it, man. Talk again soon.
Thanks.
Again, that's Jeff Poor there with 1819 News, editor-in-chief at 1819news.com. I mean, Eddie, what do you make of this?
Well, me, I'm a blue-collar guy.
Yeah.
It's a shame that the harder you work, the more money they take. And
right.
That's just all there is to it. This is land of the free, not land of the tax. And we've turned it into the land of the tax. So I agree with this Democrat 1,000%. But these are the kind of things I worry about when Republicans do take charge. They are a little bit of greedy, to say the least.
Yeah, and to have the budget over the last decade, excuse me, JFK got me by the tongue, decade, 52% increase.
What household that you know of has had any kind of increase like that? Just give me one that's had a double-digit increase.
People who hold Bitcoin have had much bigger increases, but
households.
Those are just hodlers.
How many guys driving up and down the interstate
at
7 a.m. going to work, or women?
Well, and that's the thing. That guy's getting up at 4 a.m. so he can be on the interstate in the right spot.
Right.
at 7 to go get a job done. And he's not even enough of that sort of hard work. It's not enough to be a breadwinner.
No.
And so his wife's got to go work, or his girlfriend's got to go work. Good luck.
I agree, man.
And honestly, good luck finding somebody who wants to get married. Good luck having a stable household if you can't make ends meet, even if you do love each other.
I think a lot of people, in this day and time, and I could be very wrong, I'm an older guy now, but I think a lot of people, when they're getting married, they look at, if we get married, we can split our bills.
Right.
Instead of me paying for an apartment and you paying for an apartment, we can pay for one apartment.
Well, you don't have to get married to do that.
Well, you're right, but I think that has a lot of. And I think my generation, more than anybody, started that with just living together, and it was a matter of, hey, I love you to death, but I cannot.
And it's got its own pitfalls too.
Oh, good Lord!
Because if it's just mercenary, like financial, what's the currency of a relationship? It's not the almighty dollar. It's values. You need to have the same values at the end of the day.
Yep.
But it's just weird, bizarro. We're like in a mirror universe where the Democrats want tax cuts in Alabama, and a very good argument for tax cuts.
Yes.
Whereas
And
you
they
have
can afford it,
Republicans
too.
defending massive increases in the budget over several years, and any little underprojected thing. Oh well, we got to rein it back in, or we got to up the grocery tax again. They index that. Like everything's
Well, that's
all
what
indexed.
they do. They give you a little, but they're going to take it back.
Right.
And that's just.
And we've got all these rainy
That's what we
day
voted
funds and reserves and yada yada yada. It's
But what
like
do they do with those rainy day funds when they want a little bit extra money for a special project? They
right.
quickly
They don't
go,
give it
"Hey,
back to the people.
Right. Let me go raid this. We got a little bit extra money in there. Crooks, man.
Not as bad as Washington D.C. though.
Well, so this is the Bush League of it?
No, I think this is just institutional. This is how it works. So, for instance, when Jeff Poore said Arthur Orr is an honorable guy, I agree with him. Arthur Orr is also a very smart guy, but Arthur, being honorable and smart, is okay, you have to run the education trust fund budget.
But he's also.
And so he's going to have a particular perspective about his own.
But he's not
like
the guy that
fiefdom.
gets up at 4:30 in the morning to
Right.
beat traffic, to drive an hour to work,
Right.
to make not a whole lot of
This is
money
the problem.
anyway. That lack of relation. That to me, that's going to be the failure of the United States.
No, but everybody's very reactionary when it comes to their own field.
Sure.
So, like, I could probably start saying stuff about real estate, and you're like, Joe, you just don't. Well, actually, that's a bad example.
Today, go ahead, buddy.
Go say
Give me
all the
what you
things.
got, buddy. I don't even care.
That was a bad example. I'm sorry. So, say I tried to give you a lecture on drones, and you're like an actually licensed drone pilot. You would probably get a little feisty with me. And I think there's some of that going on where it's like, we're trying, you don't understand the conversations in the room. You don't understand all the
The
things.
difference of that is that guy that's driving, or gal, don't mean to be funny, but that person that's driving that early in the morning, they're worried about putting dinner on the table.
Yep.
They're not worried about some damn rainy day fund that their family will never see.
Right. And how many of those folks, by the way, actually go try to have support from the government? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there are some of those folks that are kind of forced to put their kids in
Right.
public schools. But I know a lot of these folks. Even if they're not doing great, they're very proud.
They're independent. That's right.
And it's a good thing. It should be rewarded.
Most of them just want the government to leave them alone.
Yes. They don't need to be saved from anything. They don't need to be coddled or wrapped up in a warm blanket. Here's your little Nerf football. Throw it.
So maybe
we don't need any of that.
This will never happen, but maybe when these folks that are saying, hey, we need more money for the state, maybe they should take a field trip. You know how you do a ride along with a cop every once in a while, or that's available? Maybe they should do a ride along with some blue collar people.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to hear, oh, I got a friend. Nah, bullcrap. Y'all don't run in the same circles. Go hang out with folks for a month. 1 month. Bet they'll change their tune.
272-9228. I think we need a little pick-me-up.
What you got?
Because all this politicking got me a little frustrated. Whether you're talking about Alabama, which Alabama, it's more like, come on, guys. Like, I'm not that upset. I'm more like, come on. Let's actually be Republican. Come on.
I get frustrated in Alabama because, again, we have so much potential.
But it
it
depends on the day. But I don't have the same sort of contempt that I do for the organized crime in Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
That is
Is it
True.
that because you feel like you cannot control that
unaccountable. Well, it
whatsoever?
is. Well, and it's not just me.
Yeah.
Your elected officials can't control it. It seems.
Yeah. Good point.
Your presidents can't control it. Your senators can't
They all
control
say
it.
they're
Your
victim of it.
congressmen can't
They
control
all
it.
admit they're a victim of it. Yeah.
Right. And it's that aspect of it where you're like, okay, then what the heck is going on here? What is this weird, perverted system that claims to be democratic and accountable and legitimate because it's based on the consent of the people, but at the end of the day is actually milking and fleecing the people for everything they've got in the name of doing what exactly? That's the thing they say. We're doing this, we're fleecing you to help you.
What's that whole line you say about the crutch?
Oh, they give you a crutch. They break your leg first.
Right.
Then they give you a crutch. And they ask you, like, aren't you grateful? You're like, I would like not to have a broken leg in the first place, you SOBs.
Right.
But then, after they give you that crutch, they try to continue to hypnotize you, but especially teach your children in those public schools, you know your mommy and daddy couldn't walk in the first place without that crutch.
That government.
They always hide the original sin or crime in this case. Yeah, it's just, we'll get into it. Because there's the pay raise. There's a 40% pay increase for members of Congress, up to $243,000 a year, which is like, well, that didn't go very far in D.C. I don't want to hear
I
that.
didn't think you were in it for the money. I didn't think you were in it for the money.
Right. But so we need a little bit of a pick-me-up because this is getting a little... Like, I'm sure TS is listening. She's like, young man, stop being worked up. I'm like, I get it, Texas Sunshine.
It is Wednesday, though. You're allowed to start on Wednesday.
On Wednesday, I am allowed to start. That's her rule, right? Maybe I know I declined the pie and called her woman yesterday, all this stuff.
I feel like that hurt me.
What?
I'm probably not going to get a pie now.
Well, you'll get a pie. That said, here's a little pick-me-up, Eddie. Have you ever heard of TES?
TES. No, I got a feeling it's an acronym for something.
It's an acronym. It is not a government organization.
Oh, okay.
It's not even one of those like ironical like Doge departments.
Oh, this is legit?
No, this is you know TDS, right?
Yeah.
So Trump derangement syndrome.
Of course.
TES is very similar. In fact, the T and the S are the same, but the E is different than the D.
Oh?
Actually, they're kind of closer than I thought after I said that. The E is kind of closer to the D. Here's what TES means, folks.
Let's talk about the fact that President Trump incited an erection.
His various cases of, he's got charges of inciting an erection.
What's on that lady's mind? It's not just ladies.
Donald John Trump incited the erection.
They all got the talking points.
They didn't like Donald Trump. They said he participated in an erection.
For folks who are just listening to, every time it cuts to Careless Whisper, it's Trump winking into the camera. Oh my God.
Dude, he is living rent-free in so many people's lives.
Yeah, Trump erection syndrome.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Whoever
Whoever
came
came up
excited
with
to
that.
see him, so.
This part of the program brought to you by River Region Contracting. And they're at River Region Contracting. Todd Clark and that great team are ready to help you with that roof of yours. Whether it's an asphalt or a metal roof, you should get it inspected on a regular basis. And I mean, there can be unique problems too that you can't foresee. Say like with a metal roof, you have those
little rubber grommets.
Yeah.
And over time.
And that makes it airtight essentially and watertight.
Watertight, yeah. And over time, though, they will dry rot and crack.
And you're not going to be, even if you get up on your own roof, you're not necessarily
A lot
going to
of
see
them you're
that.
not, because I didn't see mine. They actually took the screw out and kind of made me a believer.
So whether it's that metal roof or it's some unique problem with that asphalt shingle roof, you need to at least get it inspected. Maybe you don't have a problem. Maybe your roof's fine.
That's always good to hear.
And here's the great news. They come out, they inspect it, they go, you're good. I'm like, what do I owe you? Nothing.
Nothing.
Their inspections are always free. They do find a problem, that estimate, they'll write it up for you for free.
Yep.
And it's always accurate. They show up on time, they do the job well. They love to educate their customers exactly what they're doing to fix up the roof.
Oh, yeah.
And they're insurance specialists. So they can walk you through that claims process with your insurance company, homeowners insurance, and make it a swift and easy experience, which is not usually something people associate with insurance and claims. So you'll check out River Region Contracting today. That number, 356-8635. That's 356-8635. And be sure to tell Todd Clark and the team there that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Before you buy new floors at a discount store and get them installed by the cousin of a friend who does this kind of thing, consider the better option. Prattville Carpet carries the most reputable brands for selection, style, and quality you can trust. And with their non-transferable lifetime installation warranty, you'll never have to worry about hardwood warping or carpet buckling. Your floors will stay as beautiful as the day they installed them.
Hi, I'm Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. If you're looking for carpet, hardwood, laminate, vinyl plank, or ceramic tile, call us today for your free measure. Prattville Carpet, we're more than just carpet.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage.
And I'm Madeline Cannon. And we have some exciting news to share with you. We've been serving the state of Alabama for many, many years. And now we are able and ready to offer the same great mortgage financing in Georgia and Florida as well.
Our company may be Alabama Home Mortgage, but now we can finance your Georgia home mortgage and your Florida home mortgage too. We couldn't be more excited to extend our customer base to our neighboring states. For years, we have had customers call us in hopes we could assist them with purchasing their vacation cabin in North Georgia or their dream home in Florida. And now we can. For those of you who have family and friends that live in Florida and Georgia, be sure to tell them the good news.
Whether you are looking to purchase or refinance a home located in Alabama, Georgia, or Florida, you owe it to yourself to give Alabama Home Mortgage a call at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com to complete an application on your time.
It's not just a slogan. Call Alabama Home Mortgage because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
The Health and Wealth Show. The Health and Wealth Show. The show so nice, we said it twice. Weekday evenings at 6 on News Talk 93.1 WACV. The Health...
Make it up, son. Joke's over, hey?
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From little fender benders to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For 4 decades, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Our amazing December warmth will soon be a thing of the past. Changes ahead. Today's high temperature in the middle 70s with limited sunshine and some widely scattered showers possible today and into the evening hours tonight as a cold front moves through. Overnight low temperature tonight down to about 46. Sunshine noticeably cooler, 63 tomorrow. We're back to the 30s on Thursday night. Friday's high near 60 perhaps, more sun. Then even colder over the weekend as winter officially begins with a high temperature only in the lower 50s Saturday and Sunday. We'll be in the upper 20s on Saturday and Sunday night. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Exciting times at Capital Tractor, your hometown Kubota dealer. John Bobo here. Construction is almost complete on our new Montgomery location, but until then, our moving sale continues with great Kubota deals. Don't miss it. Capital Tractor, Montgomery and Brundage.
The premier place the River Region turns to for news, weather, traffic, and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm Joey. Eddie's the man in black today.
Oh, yes, I am.
And this part of the program brought to you by Sweet Creek Farm Market. Get by and see Reed Ingram there at Sweet Creek Farm Market. They have all sorts of stuff going on for the Christmas holidays. In particular, it's not just the usual, like the great award-winning cafe or that amazing selection of like locally grown pecans done in all sorts of different ways, like irresistible pecan products like roasted and salted. Praline, chocolate honey baked.
Pralines.
Creamy white chocolate pecan. And of course, they have a charming selection of unique and hard to find gifts, including many Alabama-made products. It really is like a beautiful spot to stop, not only to shop, to get something great to eat, but it's a great place for taking the kids and bringing the whole family.
Definitely.
And coming up, there is going to be a hayride with Santa, I believe today.
Really?
Yeah, today's the 18th, right?
Today is the 18th, yes, sir.
Yeah,
Wednesday,
today.
the 18th.
There's going to be a bonfire, concessions, and Christmas lights. Concessions start at 5:30 p.m. at the new pavilion. Free entry for bonfire and play in the Christmas lights. $5 for a hayride with the man himself, Santa.
Nice.
First hayride begins approximately at 6 p.m. So follow the lighted tunnels.
Well, that sounds cool.
And weather permitting, of course, if it's going to be raining, Santa will be at the market for photos. But if you're looking for a great thing to do with the kids tonight,
that sounds exciting.
And enjoy the Christmas lights, enjoy the bonfire for free, or get that $5 hayride with Santa, you'll get by Sweet Creek Farm Market today. You can look at all these details yourself. Just look up Sweet Creek Farm Market on Facebook. And don't forget about the Christmas hams, turkeys, Boston butts they have available. They got it going on for the Christmas holidays there at Sweet Creek Farm Market. And when you go by there, be sure to find Reed Ingram and tell them that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you. Let's go to TS.
Okay.
Hello, TS.
Hello,
How are you?
Joey.
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to your show, but I was in another room, and Eddie told me that when I heard TS, you were referring to me.
Yeah, I was saying that I was a little ornery yesterday, but I still don't think it's a real name. And I don't want Eddie punished. Like, I don't need a. It just doesn't seem that way. Like, maybe they've tricked
He's
you.
not a Jones or a Smith or something.
Right, that's a real name, like a Bader or a
Joey?
Clark.
I don't know.
Hush. Listen. I hear you guys laughing with me.
Of course.
Loudermilk is a true name. It's German, and the Loudermilks are in Georgia because my neighbor is from Georgia, and she's a Loudermilk.
I'm not convinced.
Where did that name originate from? Like, I understand Smith. They were
Germany.
blacksmiths. Do they have really loud milk?
No, it seems like such a canned story, like a pat response. I'm like, I'm not saying you're wrong. I just don't, I have a hard time believing that's a real name.
Well, I love you guys anyway. Merry Christmas.
Love you too, TS.
Merry Christmas to you.
Yeah, they're
272-922. I'm just saying, you see these names, you're like, that's not real.
What if her neighbor is listening and calling her, I am real. I am real.
If Loudermilk wants to call up, I am Loudermilk. Loudermilk. I'm like, okay, Bonhoeffer. Goodness gracious. Let's go to. Did you put this down as Papa D?
Apparently I did. Yeah.
No, it's Mama D. She doesn't call it.
Well, we did just play the TES thing, so
yeah. Excited and erect. Well, how do you know they're not just talking with a Chinese accent, Joey? Hello. It's infected and eruption. Rah 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 rah. So now give them the benefit of the doubt. Although, back in my younger days, there's a spot down there in Gulf Shores. I think it's called the Spot, isn't it? Right out there by the little parties. You come right in, to the straight into the T there, and apparently it's inhabited by a bunch of sodomites nowadays. Can't remember the name of the place. But
well, you got my
anyway,
attention with sodomites.
Right.
Yeah. Well, as I was scrolling by, I don't know, 20 years ago, I was pretty svelte, and I got a bunch of cat calls. Would that be the same thing as inciting?
Oh no! Don't say it. I know what you mean. Wait, could you? I would need to know what these cat calls sounded like?
Well,
could you sum it up?
Yeah, whistling and yeah. Well, anyway, probably a little bit TMI there.
Were you in the way or
so
something?
let's
They were just trying to get you out of the way?
This whole balance of budget business. I mean, I agree. I won't do a lot more, stiffer spines and everything, but think about it just a second. If Johnson and his crew don't go ahead and get something done, then guess what? The Democrats can have their turn at bat, and every one of them will vote for whatever it is that they come up with, and I guarantee they can either bribe or coerce 4 or 5 Republicans to support them. So, then that way you lose control of the whole situation. I think the main thing is, even though it's terrible, at least just get it on into, where you can negotiate between the Senate and the House after it all passes. Reconciliation, or reconciliation if you're Chinese. So, what else are you going to do, Joey?
Find every which way to shut it down?
Shut it down!
Yeah, well.
Oh, no, they will shut it down. And it's
I agree, I want to, but it ain't going to happen. So let's just, I don't know what to do about it, but I'm not going to, fret too much. Just let's get past this little time span and move on. Hopefully get to better times. But I'm just throwing my hands up in the air about all this kind of stuff, kind of like you guys. But I just don't. What else are you going to do? They're going to do it. The raise thing, that really just frosts me right there.
At this point in time, could you spit more in Americans' face than taking a 40% raise?
It's not the time for that, and
Right.
it really has. Yeah, you don't do that.
Right.
Anyway, guys, listen. Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it, Papa.
Talk to you later.
272-9228.
Just so wrong.
They are who we thought they were.
But I agree.
And they continue to prove it.
Yet
Every
we
Christmas
vote them
time.
back in every time.
Mm-hmm. It's just too much. 272-9228. Hey, let's hit a break here.
All right.
Hopefully on the other side we'll have Austin
That's
Barranco with Invista Advisors.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Hi, I'm Paul Doe. Me and my wife Jessica own the Seafood Bistro over here in Perry Hill and Carmichael. We've been advertising with Blue Water Broadcasting for going on 3 years now. It has been a great turnout. It's been a pleasure partnering with a local company like Blue Water. And if you have your own business, I suggest teaming up with a partner like Blue Water Broadcasting. It's a local company that helps local businesses.
Blue Water Broadcasting is the #1 most listened to radio group in the River region. Find out how to put this reach to work for your business. Call us to find out how we can help. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folk helping local business.
Put the power of Action 8 News in the palm of your hand. Download the free Action 8 News app to stay on top of breaking news wherever you are. Search for WAKA News in your app store to download the Action 8 News app today. Keep your family safe by watching Action 8 News. Look for 8 on your side consumer alerts with product recalls involving cars, food, children's toys, and other items in your home. 8 on your side, keeping you safe only on Action 8 News.
Worthy, accurate, immediate. Carrying your voice across the river region. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the Afternoon, or as we call this show online, Joey Clark Live. And let's go right to the phones as promised. We have Austin Barranco with Invista Advisors. Hey, Austin, how you doing this Wednesday?
A great day, Joey. What about you?
I'm personally great. I'm a little frustrated watching the criminal organization that actually runs the country, while Congress serves as a front group Anyway, like it's
Yeah, more of the same. Always frustrating. Like I said earlier in the week, this transition is a little bit sticky, and I try my best to take the positives away from it, but there's not a ton of them to look at right now, huh?
Oh no, not a ton though. Have folks been watching? There was a Fed meeting today, right?
Yeah, and I actually haven't gotten the notes from it yet. I just got out of a lunch meeting here in Auburn. Today, I'm over here with our accounting group, and they brought in a new accountant from Kasuf & Co. in Birmingham, and so I was meeting him and getting acquainted. So I'm not as dialed in on the Fed yet, but before market closes today, I'll read those reports and see what they had to say. But if I had to take a guess, I'm going to say that there's a chance that we paused, or that he's indicating that there will be a pause, and so we'll see if that comes true or not. But the market right now is trading up. The S&P is, and most fixed income products are trading down. So nothing unusual coming into year end. You get kind of volatility in both markets, the fixed income and equity markets. And like I also said on Monday, I think at the beginning of the year, regardless of what the Fed does, you're going to see a little sell-off just because everyone's going to be offloading gains from 2024. And they don't want to do that now because they got to pay taxes and, in April next year. So I expect a little sell-off in January. We'll probably buy into that dip. And then I still think that there's a little bit of room for the market to have a good year next year. So that's kind of my take. But what are you seeing on your end?
Oh no, that's about right. It's sort of a wait and see, and hopefully, once Trump and the Congress, a new Congress, are actually seated, you could see some very quick movement, especially things like loosening up regulations and the energy markets. And I've heard talk about bringing back full, what is it? Yeah, I'm forgetting the name. Where you spend a bunch of money and you're able to write it off. I'm already forgetting the name for it. I like a lot of those incentives that they're talking about, especially with Doge is also talking about and pulling back regulations using executive power. And I just think those sort of things, once that team is in place, could start moving the needle in a good way.
Yeah, I think maybe the word is subsidy that you're looking for, but the take on the energy markets is interesting. We're actually pretty plugged in on that. And when most people think energy, they're thinking non-renewable, and they're thinking about, oil and gas. But one thing I've been looking at is the electric vehicle space. The raw materials that it takes to build electric vehicles, they're finite, and they're hard to mine for, and they're expensive operations. And so I've been looking into some of the things like nickel, cobalt, a little bit of lithium. These are things that are not usually, in the universe of your typical investments, but with the direction that electric vehicles are going, especially overseas in China, I think I heard something ridiculous like 80% of car sales this year were electric in China, which is just a massive number. But with the direction we're going, owning the raw materials that it takes to build these EV batteries in particular, I think is something that is a good long-term hold over the next decade. So I've been trying to take a look into some of these names, and if anyone's listening and interested in that, happy to field some phone calls and give some deeper thought. But that the electric vehicle space is very intriguing.
Again, folks, we were talking with Austin Baranko from Invista Advisors. And just to remind folks, to underline the point, maybe haven't heard our past conversations, it's not just, say, investment advice that folks get there with Invista. It's a, say, team approach and sort of all of the above approach to preserving wealth, to managing risk, maybe managing a household, a business, say, an institution, like an endowment. Like, it really is a across-the-board sort of help for anybody that's looking to preserve that long-term wealth.
That's right, and I appreciate you mentioning it again, Joey, because we don't lead with investments. Investments are just a part of what we have to do to help clients achieve their goals. But more often than not, we're looking at their tax picture and partnering with our accounting group, kind of like I was doing today here in Auburn, and we're taking a look at wealth transfer for estates, and really even in the nonprofit space, we do a lot of work with endowment management. So anything in the realm of finance, it doesn't just have to be trading. If you've got questions or concerns, give us a call, and if we can't solve your problem, we'll at least point you in the right direction.
Well, and folks, that number for Invista Advisors, 387-0094. Again, that's 387-0094. Or you can always go to InvistaAdvisors.com. And however you get in touch, be sure to tell them that you heard Austin Braco on the radio with that Joey guy.
Thank you, Joey.
Appreciate it, Austin.
The opinions voiced in this material are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. All performance referenced is historical and is no guarantee of future results. All indices are unmanaged and may not be invested into directly. The opinions expressed in this material do not necessarily reflect the views of LPL Financial. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advice is offered through Invista Advisors, registered investment advisor and separate entity from LPL Financial.
272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversations. We head into the next hour. That's 334-272-9228.
Elon has commented on that bill.
Elon
said this bill is criminal.
Beautiful. I'm on the same page with him.
Yeah, he's putting out a few more details about that, but yeah, I just seen that on Twitter.
And I was a little hubbing myself, that Fed rate decision coming out in about a minute. So we'll see what the powers that be behind the Federal Reserve have to say. It does. It just seems like, can't Trump just get in there now? We still have to deal with these people?
Setting the world on fire, brother. That's the plan.
Oh, they talk, well, we want it to be a smooth transition. No, you don't.
No, they don't. Everything they've ever said has been the complete opposite of their actions. That's why I don't understand why people still take them seriously.
We'll see. But there's plenty more to get into, plenty more reaction. There are some folks fighting the good fight on this, one in particular being Senator here from Alabama, Tommy Tuberville.
Excellent.
We'll be right back with that.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. The Senate has passed the defense bill that will authorize significant pay raises for junior enlisted service members and boost overall military spending to $895 billion. It also strips coverage of transgender medical treatments for children of military members. The Supreme Court will hear arguments next month over the constitutionality of the federal law that could ban TikTok in the U.S. if its Chinese parent company doesn't sell it. The justices said they will hear arguments on January 10th. A person in Louisiana was has the first severe illness caused by bird flu. In the U.S., the patient had been in contact with sick and dead birds in backyard flocks. Previous illnesses have been mild. The Dow up 108 points, the Nasdaq adding 46. This is SRN News.
Our nation's problems have been building for the past 50 years, and they're not going away overnight, which is why we must prepare now for a financial collapse that will affect the entire economy. The good news is there's an easy way to do that. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and I believe everyone should consider a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group to diversify their IRA or 401k. Gold is a proven bedrock in almost every kind of economy. To learn more, get a free info kit from my trusted friends at Birch Gold by texting the word PREPARE to 989898. Don't wait until decades of government irresponsibility comes crashing down on your retirement. Get your free info kit on gold IRAs from the Birch Gold Group now. Text PREPARE to the number 989898. That's PREPARE to 989898.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, where over-the-road dump truck drivers are needed right now. Home twice a week and every weekend, must leave early on Sunday with Blue Cross Blue Shield. Call them now at 855-777-9785.
Our amazing December warmth will soon be a thing of the past. Changes ahead. Today's high temperature in the middle 70s with limited sunshine and some widely scattered showers possible today and into the evening hours tonight as a cold front moves through. Overnight low temperature tonight down to about 46. Sunshine, noticeably cooler, 63 tomorrow. We're back to the 30s on Thursday night. Friday's high near 60 perhaps, more sun. Then even colder over the weekend as winter officially begins with a high temperature only in the lower 50s Saturday and Sunday. We'll be in the upper 20s on Saturday and Sunday night. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey Publix.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, these are today's top stories. The Pike Road Superintendent delivered the State of the Schools address on Tuesday. During the last school board meeting of the year, Dr. Keith Langford explained why the district is becoming increasingly popular for families. The address comes just weeks after Pike Road Schools earned an A grade on the state's report card for the third consecutive year. The Deatsville man who led police on a chase through multiple communities late Sunday night has been identified. 46-year-old Charles Ray Mann refused to pull over for Prattville police and was pursued through Millbrook, Holtville, and Slapout before the chase ended by spiking Mann's tires. Mann is charged with DUI and felony attempting to elude police. Miami Dolphins wide receiver and Montgomery native Grant DuBose remains in the hospital, but has movement in all extremities after being stretchered off the field following a vicious helmet-to-helmet hit against the Houston Texans on Sunday. The Dolphins placed the former Park Crossing High School standout on injured reserve Tuesday. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Is your business feeling the heat of cyber attacks? Tired of worrying about ransomware, data breaches, downtime, and employee mistakes? GTI Managed IT Solutions has been your trusted partner since 1999, safeguarding and supporting businesses like yours from the ever-evolving threats in the digital world. GTI, your peace of mind is guaranteed. Call us today at 819-4650 or visit gtinow.com.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. Now let's get into what all the politicians are saying.
Oh.
But here's a guy we know. A lot of folks call him Coach, but he's a United States Senator.
I like that guy.
I was giving him a little hard time when I saw him at some gala event, 1819 News put on. I'm like, when are you going to come see us?
Yeah.
Like, we got other people come see us. When are you going to come see us?
Got a seat for him.
Yeah, I mean, he's not local, so. But Auburn ain't that far away.
No, it
like
ain't.
when you're in the area, man, stop by. I'd happy to do phone calls with them and do the stream stuff
for a steak dinner at this restaurant I know of.
Oh yeah,
I'd invite him to that.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I bet he'd show up too.
Yeah.
Even if he don't, we'll get a steak dinner out of the deal.
Well, and that, and somebody like Coach Tuberville can go on like big shows.
Oh yeah,
not like small time stuff like what we do here.
It's important though to keep the people where you came from, keep them alive.
True, and I'm sure he agrees with that. I'm sure his office agrees with that.
Yeah.
But here he is on a big show. I think because it gets the word out to his folks.
Yeah.
Just as well, we have him on with Steve Bannon, Sloppy Steve. Oh my! I got to pull it up full screen. Look at him. That is a perfect name for that guy. If you didn't know who that guy is, you're like, who's that guy? It's like, that's Sloppy Steve. And it fits like a glove. Trump is brilliant at that stuff.
He's literally like 4 steps away from looking like the most homeless person you've ever seen before.
He's fiery, man. He's
right,
fiery.
Right, get him fired up, and he really starts to sound like the homeless person.
And like Jeff Poor we had on earlier, used to work with Bannon at Breitbart, saying, "Oh yeah, what you see in public is not the half of it, man." So let's listen in. This is Coach Tommy Tuberville on with Steve Bannon talking about this monstrosity of a continuing resolution, of another omnibus bill, of another Grinch that stole Christmas from Washington D.C. Don't you be cutting the roast beast when you're doing nonsense like this. Let's listen in.
But I started thinking about my dad at 18 years old, and I don't know when he got wounded in the Battle of the Bulge, but this thing, I don't know how many days it lasts. I don't even know how long.
Like 3-4 weeks.
Yeah, it was a long time.
Because Hunter first took Bastogne and then had to be relieved by Patton.
By Patton. Well, my dad was driving a tank, so he's probably with Patton, but his tank was blown up and got torn up pretty good. But just thinking about that group that fought for the freedoms and the things that we have in this country, and if they could all look at what's going on today, they'd go, my God, what did we fight for? We fought for freedom and people to have their opportunities to do whatever, but it's a sad situation. It really is. And I've been looking at the text of this bill, 1,500 pages. It's supposed to be a CR, which basically takes the budget and goes and gives President Trump.
Should be a 1 or 2 liner.
Yeah, at the most 5 pages or so. But it was 50 pages, just introductory. It took me forever to get through the introduction of a CR. They call it the Christmas tree bill now, but everything's in it. We could have done, and I feel terrible for the farmers. They're in bad shape. Terrible for the people in North Carolina. They want to give $100 billion for disaster relief. I'm good with that. Steve, you know how much $100 billion is? I mean, you'd have to have 100 banks accounting for that money going in and out. Who make sure people get the right money? The federal government can't do that. It's like saying, we're sending $60 billion to Ukraine. Yeah, right. $5 billion of it might get to the right spot. The other 55 goes in somebody's pocket. But it's out of control. We've all known that, and I was hoping President Trump would get off to a good start. But here, as you just said, everything in the world's in this bill. And basically, if you look at it, the Democrats got about $10 for every $1 for the Republicans, and we've got control of the House. Go figure that out.
Well, a lot of Republicans are just weenies. They're not. I love that. Like, you're actually a Democrat. It's like, no, they're just weenies. Christmas weenies.
Ooh.
So let's hear one of the weenies. Let's hear what the chief weenie, who's supposedly the speaker, the leader there in the House of Representatives. Let's listen in to Mike Johnson. See what he has to say. Because, maybe he's not a weenie. Maybe he's a statesman and he understands exactly what we need to do. I got a feeling, though, what he's going to do is just sell the hostage situation. Say we had to do it. Let's listen in. Okay, I can't even... We don't normally like this. Really?
It seems to happen a lot for something we don't like to happen.
Yeah. It seems like it's been happening over and over and over again. It's like the ghost of Richard Shelby and Pat Leahy is still up there appropriating. Mr. Zuckerberg, who made this meme, Mr. Zuckerberg? There are billions of memes. Answer the question, Mr. Zuckerberg. Pat Leahy.
Yeah.
I kind of miss him just for that. Anyway, let's hear out Mr. Johnson, who is living up to his last name as a big old weenie.
We don't normally like what's called a continuing resolution, a CR, but in this case it makes sense because if we push it into the first quarter of next year, then we have a Republican-controlled Congress and President Donald J. Trump back in the White House will be able to have more say over the funding decisions for 2025. Now, that would have been an easier thing to do, but then we had circumstances outside of our control. We had these emergencies that are required. So we had, as you know, a record hurricane season. We had Helene and Milton, and they just did massive destruction across our red states, frankly, in the southeast and the eastern side of the country. And then we've had farmers who are in jeopardy of permanently going under. They've had 3 lost years in a row because of Bidenomics and inflation and other circumstances outside of their control. And so when you cobble those two things together, there's a desperate need for that aid, and that's what adds another $100+ billion to the bill, and that's why everybody's uncomfortable with it. I am too. We have a massive deficit and debt problem, of course, in this country. We can begin to address that and shrink the size and scope of government in January with Republican control, but we've got to bridge the gap to get there, and we cannot leave our small farms and ranchers and our people who are devastated by the hurricanes out in the meantime. So that's the difficult part about this. That's what people are really struggling with, and I am too, but we have a responsibility here, and that's legislating.
That's legislating.
No.
Is there no way you can fight this? No way at all. Are you that weak?
Give us the money, and then come first of the year, Daddy will be home, and we won't spend it like we want to. How about just no?
Now, here's the same guy, because I'm still putting him in the weenie category. That was not
You're nicer
a
than
very
me.
convincing argument. Well, let's hear what he's got to say to the team at Fox and Friends.
So you've got a bunch of Republicans who...
Thank God Brian Kilmeade isn't talking. If he starts talking, I'm not in the mood today, Brian Kilmeade. Brown nose.
are angry at you. They don't like this. And just in a couple of weeks, you're going to stand once again to run for Speaker of the House. And you don't need a bunch of Democrats mad at you. But and this is breaking news you do not know. You know who also does not like this? Elon Musk, the world's richest man, just tweeted, this bill should not pass. The only way you're going to be able to pass it now, Mr. Speaker, is with Democrats. If you could, what's your message to Elon Musk?
Well, I was communicating with Elon last night. Elon and Vivek and I are on a text chain together. And I was explaining to them the background of this. And Vivek and I talked last night about almost midnight. And he said, look, I get it. He said, we understand you're in an impossible position. Everybody knows that. Remember, guys, we still have just a razor-thin margin of Republicans. So any bill has to have Democrat votes. They understand the situation. They said, it's not directed to you, Mr. Speaker, but we don't like the spending. I said, guess what, fellas? I don't either. We got to get this done because here's the key. By doing this, we are clearing the decks and we are setting up for Trump to come in roaring back with the America First agenda. That's what we're going to run with gusto beginning January 3rd when we start the new Congress, when Republicans, again, are in control. And all of our fiscal conservative friends, I'm one of them, will be able to finally do the things that we've been wanting to do for the last couple of years. Right now, Democrats still control the pens. And that's the problem.
Straight up BS,
so we got to get this thing done so we don't have the shutdown, so we get the short-term funding measure, and we get to March where we can put our fingerprints on the spending. That's when the big changes start. And
So they don't have a backbone unless Daddy Trump's in office, is what he's saying.
Yeah. There's probably all sorts of things, procedural things, you could have done months and months ago.
Yeah.
Because you're the frickin' Speaker of the House. Well, I got a thin margin. Yeah.
Shut it down till
something.
If they don't want to fight till Trump gets there, then shut it down till Trump gets there.
Well, maybe we'll have to rely on people like Mike Lee and Rand Paul. Like, I don't know how exactly it works, but filibuster.
Yeah.
Filibuster.
If that's what it takes, because this is ridiculous. Again, the people of the United States spoke, and they spoke very loudly. So this is your leaders, Republicans and Democrats for this matter, spitting right in your face. They don't care. Yeah, we heard you, but we ain't going to do what you said.
It really is nuts. Absolutely nuts. Now, Thomas Massey.
Yeah.
Sassy with Massey. Some are now calling him Nostra Thomas. Because he said this, in September of this year? Yeah, he said this on September the 23rd. 2024.
All right.
What exactly did he say? Well, we'll play the clip. This is Nostradamus on the Rules Committee in September predicting exactly what we're seeing.
I also predicted this would fall right before Christmas, and I believe this does fall on December 20th.
Yep.
Now, why have we picked December 20th? Because it's the same reason we always have December 20th. Everybody up here is human. There are no AIs or robots in Congress.
Might be better.
And when you get to December 20th, you're 5 days from Christmas. You're 4 days from Christmas Eve. And you desperately want to be there with your family. So this is when the leadership here has the maximum influence. And again, I'm talking to the Democrats and the Republicans, because you've seen it on the Democrat side of the aisle. They love to pick the week before Christmas for this showdown, because you can smell the jet fuel fumes over at DCA. It smells like Christmas, that you're going to get to go home and open presents. I've been in HC5 when literally the Speaker of the House, not the Speaker we have now, walks in and says, if you vote for this, you can go home and unwrap presents with your kids, and if you don't vote for this, you're going to spend Christmas here with Nancy Pelosi. And then the chant starts, vote, 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 vote. Literally, people get enthusiastic to vote for something that they haven't read. So let me predict what we're not going to do on December 20th.
Children.
Before I take a guess at what we're going to do. What we're not going to do, we're not going to do 12 separate bills. We are not going to spend this time. We've got a few months between now and December 20th. We could go back to working on appropriations bills. We are not going to do this. This sucker, whatever happens on December 20th, whether it's another CR to kick the can down the road for 3 more months, or whether it's an omnibus that funds all of government with one bill, it's going to be written behind closed doors, and every lobbyist in this town is going to try to attach their little thing to this bill. This train is leaving the station on December 20th. It's the only one that we know is going to pass. They call it up here must pass legislation. So everybody's going to try and get their little thing on this bill, whatever it is on December 20th, whether it's another continuing resolution or another omnibus. It's not even really a prediction that I'm making. I'm just telling you what has happened for 12 years, regardless of whether Democrats are in charge or Republicans are in charge. There may be a little twist. We may do half of a CR. It'll be a whole CR, and half of it will end in February, and half of it will end in April, and they'll convince you they got something more clever this year than they had last year. But it's going to be the same old thing, warmed over, written behind closed doors, rolled out here. We're not going to have time to read this thing.
You know, it just hit me. What if, very peacefully and patriotically, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of Americans decide, you know what, we've had enough of this. We're going to go freak them out, protest outside of the Capitol. But everybody, if you're coming to this event, must dress like Santa.
It's easier than that.
I want to see SWAT teams and riot-geared folks beating up Santas. Because you will do that if we raise hell in a fun, holly jolly way. You would beat up Santa.
Well, but you could do it non-violently. Very easy. Every American out there can do it.
Well, just put on a Santa outfit. You're going to feel great.
You just call your HR, your boss, and you say, hey, I want you to 1099 me. I'm telling you, that will get attention like nobody's business. You think these UFOs are making headlines? You get a couple 100,000 people that suddenly want a 1099 instead of this BS they already got. Because there's a deal with the bank, all this direct deposit. Guess who has the right to get the money before you do? The government.
It's nuts.
1099 it, folks.
I still like my Santa idea.
I like it, but I don't want to see Santa Claus get beat up.
And passing around Rumpelminsk. Like Pete or peppermint schnapps.
I'm good with that.
And we're hanging out. We're all dressed up like Santa.
I just don't see him.
And then maybe the real Santa will appear above the sky. Ho, ho, ho! And he'll help us Fight the government or something. I don't know.
I've heard,
not even I can do that, little boy.
Well, I've hurt Santa's reputation because one time at a Halloween party, I was dressed up as Santa, and then we had to go on a beer run.
Yeah.
All the kids at the convenience store got to see a little drunk Santa there buying beer. And they're like, "Is it you, Santa Claus?" And
Is that Billy Bob Thornton?
He says, "Is that you, Santa Claus?" I said, "Hell yeah, it's me."
Did your mother drop you on your head or something?
I wish I'd know that. At least I'd have a reason.
So that was on the 23rd that Nostradamus, Thomas Matthey.
Was it September?
Yeah, September the 23rd.
Mm-hmm.
Here's September the 24th. The weenie, Mike Johnson, saying a certain thing. Let's listen in.
We have broken the Christmas omni, and I have no intention of going back to that terrible tradition. So there won't be a Christmas omnibus. As somebody asked me in the hallway a little while ago, will there be many buses? We don't want any buses. We're not going to do any buses, okay?
And I've seen this play call like 4 times in the 7 years I've been in Congress. They've punted the ball until December 20th. And what they'll do is they'll come in a closed room with us and they'll say, okay, now we've got the really big omnibus. And if you vote for this, you can go home for Christmas. But if you don't vote for it and it fails, we're going to make you stay here over Christmas and New Year's. And it's almost like a dystopian future. I've been in the closed room where they start chanting, vote, 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 vote.
And you just heard this, but this is from 2019 when Massey said that. He's been given the same speech for years.
Yeah.
I think he's one of the few people up there who would actually destroy the Ring of Power. But everybody else is like, no, let's make Mordor more powerful for our ends. It's just, bah humbug, man.
Yeah. And people run up there and vote for something they've not read. CR, CR, CR. Oh, you want to go home for Christmas?
This was last year.
And we'll let you go see your families and your new grandbaby, and you can watch your 2-year-old open presents. But if you don't, you're going to stay here with your leadership and their leadership and wait for a bunch of geriatric senators to send over the answer.
Wow. No, he's not a prophet. He doesn't see the future. He just knows how the criminal organization that actually runs Washington, D.C. works.
Yep.
Neither Alabama senator's in that room making those decisions. You got a few folks that chair certain things in the House. I guess they got their NDAA. But man, this is, again, bah humbug.
You know how Cat Williams went on Shannon Sharp's show? It was early this year, right? It was this year, I think it was. And he started spilling the tea. I wish these SOBs would start doing that to each other.
A lot more. A lot more.
Because no matter how much they swear they don't like the other side, they are sworn in secrecy. Let some crap out. Quit holding it back. Yeah. Because all they're going to do is they're holding that, you're going under the same knife. They're holding you under that same threat. Let some stuff out.
Well, but you see what happened to Matt Gaetz. And we'll get to that in more detail. They voted in secret to release this whole ethics investigation complaint.
Which they've never done before.
They've never done before. The guy was investigated by the Biden DOJ.
Yeah.
Had a huge target on his back. They didn't charge him with anything.
Yep. But again, it goes back to, they swear, oh no, he's my enemy. He's my enemy.
They're
all in it together.
Because they keep getting all these people that want to, have fun, work hard, play hard, as the saying goes.
Okay.
What we need are eunuchs. Well, yeah, maybe teetotaling eunuchs. We got to get rid of all the vices in some way. Just cut it right off at the.
I'm ticked at everybody else, so I'm not doing anything good. For
yeah, but they're not going to have you messing around with the co-eds and the interns.
No, but I'll make laws that you can't either.
Good. No, we need folks that are removed from all the normal temptations that the devil puts in front of you there up there in D.C.
Well, then why don't
hey, would you like some ladies?
Why don't we
Sorry, don't
why don't we
work
get
anymore.
religious leaders up there then? If we need to. What? That's what you're asking for, right? Come on, is that what
what you're asking for? We have those
because the
people.
pastor's never stolen from the collection basket. He's never
Or impregnated the flock.
we sent a pastor up there. Who? Reverend Mo Money?
Right. More money, more money. Yeah.
God, it's so ridiculous. You're right. It'd be nice if there were some folks that really started spilling tea on one another.
That's what needs
Actually,
to happen. We need to have, I think you called for it one time, a truth commission, a truth
Yeah,
truth
just
commission.
let it all out.
Whether you're the one being blackmailed, just let it out. Let it out. Because I guarantee you, if you're the first one and you're being blackmailed, someone else has got it much worse than you do. All that needs to happen is that little bit of a dike needs to break, and man, the water will come busting through.
Now, buried in all of this,
Mm-hmm.
the 1,500-page bill is a 40% pay increase for members of Congress. Their salary will be increased, folks. Currently, they're making $174,000 a year. Not too shabby.
Plus benefits, Joey. Plus untaxed benefits, Joey.
Right.
Plus occasional under-the-table money, Joey.
Sure. Trips.
Lots of trips.
A lot of trips. For research purposes.
But of course.
Right.
Jobs.
So the pay is going to be increased from $174,000 a year to $243,000 a year. And here, because you can always count on the New York Times to be the most miserable outlet ever, the New York Times put together a list of folks who were Republicans and Democrats alike talking about their salary.
Oh.
And why they needed increase.
Of course.
But it will never happen because, it's just not the right time to ask.
Quick question on that. Could you not gather 10 employees from any company throughout the United States and they would all agree that they need a raise too? And these are reasons why?
I need a raise.
Right.
We all need a raise.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
More money?
Just making sure.
Wait, I can vote myself more money?
Right.
Ooh.
Right.
Let's listen into these yahoos.
Look, the average income in my district is $55,000 a year. A congressman makes $174,000 a year.
If I go back to my district where the average salary in some places is $32,000 and I say I don't make enough when I make $174,000, they would go ballistic.
They should
be out of office in a heartbeat. And yet, trying to maintain two places to live, have clothes
Then why?
in two places, have a car in two places.
Why?
Why? If I work for a company and they say, Eddie, I need you to go to Chicago for a while.
You live in Chicago.
I don't try to keep up two houses because that's going to be financially impossible. I don't try to keep up two cars. I adjust my life to my job. Now, it's a job.
Well, and also, most of these folks, if you got any sway at all, your spouse can get a gig where they're making a lot more than $174,000
But that's all
a
crap.
year.
If you say
Your
well,
brother can get paid a heck of a lot
Oh, yeah.
too, and your sister.
But they don't have to do that. If they say, well, I can't afford two houses, do like other Americans do, rent one of them out. You want to keep that family place in Jefferson County? I understand that. It's been the family forever.
The rent's too damn high in D.C. Well, maybe sleep in your office.
People do that. Or maybe you and another buddy share an apartment. People do that.
It's very difficult.
When I got to Congress, I realized, holy smokes, that comes out of my pocket without reimbursement.
And you're not allowed
So
to
I can't
write
afford to keep
off
this job.
any
I
of
have
the
to leave.
expenses.
I've had a roommate every time I've rented an apartment.
Whoa, a roommate? I think we should have, I'm for this. More
You want
money.
dorms?
Dorms. You have to stay in dorms. If
Yeah,
we could get a whole
Are
sitcom
they
out of it.
separate dorms,
No, but
Joey?
install cameras,
Oh, that would be
all
good.
this stuff.
You talk about Survivor.
It's like, in the back room, you got the dirty dogs over there.
They have to have a confessional.
Right.
Once a week, they have to go to confessional.
And then you're like, what's United States Senator Katie Britt doing? It's like, oh, we investigated. She's just playing checkers with John
Right.
Fetterman in the main.
Right. You'll have those
In the
wholesome
main
moments,
lobby.
no doubt. But then you'll
And
have
Fetterman's winning. But I think she's letting him win.
We're going to go with that, right?
Yeah, dorms. Look, y'all have to
Let them go with dorms.
stay in dorms. Or let's just make it one big, like, Viking stuff, like, longhouse.
I mean, that's what kills me. Is you know as well as I do. They get money, they get gifts and things left and right, but they're going to complain about housing.
Why don't you just tell one of those people that are illegally giving you money anyway, I need you to house me now too?
Just keep hearing out these weenies.
Upwards of 100 Congress members actually sleep in their office because it's expensive.
Washington's expensive.
All of us ought to be concerned about the future in terms of who can afford to do this.
Do you want it to still be the House of the people, or do you want it to be only wealthy people? I think that it's important.
What is it now?
What
is it now?
is that? You crazy bat! What's her name?
Ain't pumped gas since I was 20.
Anna Eshoo. Eshu. E-S-H-O. Another fake name like Loudermilk. You're not even real people, Anna. You're not even a real person. But it should be a house of the people. So, give us $250,000 a year.
No. No.
How much you want to bet that Anna Eshoo's husband is getting paid 300, 400 grand at some lobbying firm to do squat?
Not only that, I just thought about this. I bet each one of these people you can pull up. There's an app out there that follows all these congressmen's stock trades.
Yeah.
Guarantee you can pull all these up, and every one of them will be making bank, hand over fist.
Well, but
on
we
stock
don't
trades.
talk. It's in a trust, and but I bet who does is the legislative staff.
Yep.
Probably talks to all those people.
Yep.
But I can't.
I don't
directly
do
talk
it.
to them.
You can't talk to me, but
Well, in fact, don't even tell me about it.
right, right. Just keep that money flowing in.
To have cost of living adjustments.
I think there needs to be at least an inflationary adjustment.
I think it should at least keep up with inflation.
It should probably go up with the cost of living.
Congress works better when you have a broad swath of the American people being able to run and get elected. I really believe that.
Does that fill my mouth with farts?
Yeah, you might as well. No, that is another fake Bushon.
That's fill my mouth with farts.
This part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health. Somebody go check Mike Johnson's testosterone levels.
Guarantee you it's low.
Because that little elf needs it. That said, if you're a man out there listening and you're experiencing the symptoms of low T, which could mean a lack of energy, motivation, and drive, including a decrease in your sex drive, perhaps seeing unwanted weight gain, loss of muscle mass, and just feel like you're walking through your life in a fog, well, knowing whether you have low testosterone is huge in combating some of these issues. And the providers here at Montgomery Men's Health can conduct a testosterone-focused lab workup plus a consultation for only $99. And if you do indeed have low T, if you actually do have a testosterone issue, they have treatments there at Montgomery Men's Health that can truly change lives. Men can experience higher energy, better gains in the gym. Brother. That's right, brother. Better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns, a faster metabolism. You usually even notice an increased libido.
That's all right.
And you can actually book the same day that you call. That number, 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to book your appointment. Today, if you want to get in on the conversation, 272-9228. Yeah, I suspect there are a lot of people who are, if they're out there listening, going, yep, more of the same crap. It's been the same crap decade after decade. Oh, elect this person, it'll all change.
You know who could?
They're crooks and liars, and the well-meaning ones are unwitting. Possibly. But there is definitely a criminal organization that runs this country. I'm certain of it. And Congress, your elected official, is just a front for it. Why do you think they tried to kill Trump?
Right now, if Trump really wants to get everybody's attention, he'll make a statement. I know he's not the president, and I know he's not supposed to, but I sure would love to hear from him right now.
Me too. Though all the trolling of Canada is still pretty great.
Oh, that's awesome, especially that time of morning.
Anyway, let's hit this break. We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group with your updated end-of-the-year market report for 2024. By the end of this year, the MLS in the River region will have approximately 5,000 home sales closed. Almost 60% of all listings are selling on an average of 60 days or less, which is a good news for a seller and not surprising if you've been looking for a home lately. Predictions through Realtor.com about the coming year will be an overall better year for both buyers and sellers. To buy a home in this market, here's what you will need. Number one, a strong buyer advocate that will find a good selection of homes for you to view now. Number two, someone with a strong negotiation background. Three, someone with over 47 years in real estate concerning contracts, financing options, and closing houses. For the best buying and selling experience, call the expert. Call Bo Goodson at 221-2883 or 551-0225. That's 221-2883, the Goodson Group.
Make 2024 the year you break away from the chain stores and join us here at Adams Drugs. We value your business and want to provide you the best customer service at the lowest possible price. We've been serving up excellent customer service here in the River region for over 62 years.
I made the swap to Adams Drugs and I couldn't be happier. Having a job and then getting 3 kids to all of their activities keeps me busy. I don't have an hour to waste waiting on a prescription. At Adams, they know me and my family. I get in and out in minutes, and when I can't get by Adams, they'll bring the prescription right to my door.
What are you waiting for? Come in to Adams Drugs and let us earn your business. Our friendly and personal staff will talk with you and answer any questions you may have about your prescriptions. Your satisfaction is our #1 goal. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for the location nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local independent Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
Start your day a better way with Action 8 News Rising. Get your first look at news happening today, plus your latest forecast and live traffic reports. Don't settle for the same old morning newscast. Watch Action 8 News Rising, weekday mornings starting at 4:30. Don't know an iPhone from a flip phone? You need to watch Action 8 News. Consumer technology reporter Jamie Tucker keeps you on top of the latest technology and keeps you safe from scams and identity thieves. Watch What the Tech, only on Action 8 News.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by Clark Heating, Air and Plumbing. Fall is officially here, and it's time to get your system ready for the winter. Call today about the advantages of the Clark Club membership to be sure you're covered. Call 277-2125 or go to clarkcomfort.com. Better call Clark. Alabama certification number 09098.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Our amazing December warmth will soon be a thing of the past. Changes ahead. Today's high temperature in the middle 70s with limited sunshine and some widely scattered showers possible today and into the evening hours tonight as a cold front moves through. Overnight low temperature tonight down to about 46. Sunshine noticeably cooler, 63 tomorrow. We're back to the 30s on Thursday night. Friday's high near 60 perhaps, more sun, then even colder over the weekend as winter officially begins with a high temperature only in the lower 50s Saturday and Sunday. We'll be in the upper 20s on Saturday and Sunday night. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Web Bobo with Capital Tractor. Get 0% financing up to 48 months with approved credit. Now on select Kubota track loaders and excavators. Get a Kubota now through December 31st, 2024. See Capital Tractor Montgomery and Brundage or KubotaUSA.com for details.
All the headlines the mainstream media won't touch. Your News Talk station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. It's news and views in the afternoon. How you doing?
Trying to get that Christmas spirit going.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. But covering all this crap.
Yeah, it kind of sucks the joy right out of the air.
Yeah.
Really.
Like,
it really does.
Like, can all of them be visited by the ghost of Christmas past?
Oh, that'd be nice.
when they wake up tomorrow. I like my Santa idea, though. Like, let's all go protest all dressed as Santa. But I'm worried if the actual Santa does show up in a sleigh, that'll be the drone they shoot down.
Of course they will. Of course they will.
It's just these people, man. Let's go to east of the Rockies. Hey, East, how you doing?
Hey, I hope you can hear me okay.
Oh, yeah,
Yes,
you're
sir.
good.
Okay, great. Okay, here's my question, and Joey, I'm going to direct this to Eddie because he's in real estate.
Mm-hmm.
What's stopping the Congress from condemning some properties near the metro, building some dorms or apartments, efficiency apartments for these guys so they could come in,
I
do
agree.
their job, and then go home?
They're
What
the
is
only
it?
ones standing in the way.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You know, I am not going to waste a Kleenex on these cats, man. And I love our congressman, but, you know, if he's asking for this too, forget it. You know, I could try my best to get by on $170,000 a year.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and especially
plus-
apparently we
plus
have
you
all
get
these.
military flights.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, and we have all these vacant buildings apparently, where
Oh,
because
yeah,
federal
tons of them.
workers are working from home.
Yep. Just
My
the maintenance
God.
contracts alone are worth billions of dollars.
And you know, and it doesn't have to be like you got to live with a dirt floor, and we'll even install a little slop trough for you piggies.
No, I love the idea of the efficiency apartment. There you go. Takes housing right off of it.
Yep, there you
can
go.
You got a 900 square foot apartment. Have at it.
You guys are hitting it, batting 1,000 today. I appreciate it.
Hey, thank you,
Appreciate
East.
you, East. Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
No, really, it's like I'm looking forward to Christmas. Just spending time with the family, not doing anything crazy. Just spending time with family.
What?
Well, I think my cousin, who's a nurse, has to work Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Ooh.
My son is
Like my brother's wife, the doctor, had to work Thanksgiving Day. Like, ugh.
my son is taking up the reins of working Christmas. I did it for, man, I couldn't tell you how many years, 12, 14 years at Hyundai. Me and a friend of mine, we just split the shift. That way we knew you got 12 hours with your family, I got 12 hours with my family. That's how we did it. But there was usually no one else at the plant. And I remember I ran into a maintenance supervisor one time. Both of us ran each other in the ash house on the 5th floor.
The ash house?
Yeah, it's just the 5th floor maintenance. Scared the crap out of each other because no one's supposed to be in the building. And I turned the corner and there's he, and he turns the corner and there's I. We screamed, we cussed, and then we said, "Hey, Merry Christmas, man."
Hey, what's your name?
Exactly, pretty much how that went. What are you doing here? The whole reason I'm here because they said nobody would be here.
Ezekiel. Let's go to Thunder. Hey, Thunder, how you doing?
Well, I was doing a whole lot better until I heard the obscene rates Congress once again engaged themselves this year.
Yeah.
The idea of having a dormitory there or efficiency apartments is spot on. There's certainly more than enough room there that everybody can have a 900 square foot apartment
Yes.
without any difficulty at all. They'll be actually supporting the local grocers because they'll be doing their own cooking.
Yeah.
Or they'll be going and getting it and heating it up. So any way you look at it, they'll be supporting the local people. Congress was originally never intended to be a full-time job. They have simply ratcheted up the amount of, quote, governance that needed to be done until they were able to do so. And you also got one very important aspect of new income for our congresspersons that they get by with. It's called insider trading.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
They have gotten absolutely filthy rich off of it. They need to be taking some of the proceeds of that and paying for their own damn housing in Washington, D.C. They can certainly afford it. We've had multitudes of them that have actually bought multi-million-dollar mansions right there in Washington. Why should we be paying for that?
I agree.
We shouldn't be, but
have
it's
to come
because
home.
they're the ones holding the big stick. And
They
again,
would
it's
be
not the
ones-
elected officials. I think there are a few elected officials who are in on the game.
They got to stand up then.
But there is some criminal organization running things, and they
If you're
love
not-
it.
If you're not willing to stand up for your constituents, you shouldn't be there. If you're not willing to come home and answer your constituent questions, you shouldn't be there. That includes our representatives in our state's capitals as well. If you're
I
not
agree.
willing to face the people and explain to the people why you think you need this increase in pay, when we're doing without, when we're looking at our electric bill, when we're looking at our gas bill, when we're looking at the groceries, when we're looking at the increase in our insurance costs, when we're looking at the increase in our medical costs, when we're looking at the increase in our ability or the decrease in our ability to educate our children, how dare they do this?
But they're doing it anyway.
Because they can.
They're doing it
How
anyway.
dare they not come home to face the music? And I'm tired of not seeing our local representatives not facing the music. And I'm not necessarily talking about Senator Tuberville because he comes home frequently and he does meet with his constituents. I'm talking about the rest of them. The fact that we just reelected a representative from Birmingham that absolutely never does anything for her constituents. How stupid are those people? You put a representative in, a new representative in, for a district that goes from one side of this state to the other, dissects it into two. You think that he's been anywhere near his constituents? No. People who are supposed to be voting, get your head out of your backside and start looking at the people you have hired and make them do their damn job.
Well,
Every one of them. And if they don't like what I'm saying, if my state representative, Jay Hovey, doesn't like what I'm saying, come home and face the music instead of hiding in an office.
well, I appreciate it as always, Thunder.
Thank you, Thunder.
Well, I hate to have to thunder on everybody so quickly before Christmas when we should be looking at everybody and saying, this is a special time for all of us and family. But this is a time for family, and if we do not take care of our families and we do not take care of ourselves, Congress sure as hell ain't going to do it.
You're right.
So thank you, guys. Y'all keep up the good work.
Thank
Should
you,
I
hon.
not be able to talk to you between now and Christmas Day, may everyone out there please have a blessed Christmas Day. May peace be upon each one of us because we need it, and this next year is going to be extremely difficult. So thank you all. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Thunder.
272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. This part of the program, in fact, the entire hour, brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. And they're at Alabama Home Mortgage. Kim Williams and Madeline Cannon can help you get ready to hit the new year, well, ready to go.
Right.
What does that mean? Well, it means if you're looking to buy a place, might as well call them up at Alabama Home Mortgage and go ahead and get pre-approved.
You want that because there's going to be definitely come first of the year. There's going to be a bit of a rush, and you don't want to be one of the people that are making last-minute phone calls. Go ahead and get it taken care of now. That way, you have that peace of mind. You know what your budget is. You know what you want, what you're shopping for, and that piece of paper, that pre-approval. I'm telling you, that's the ticket in the door.
Well, and do it today.
Yeah.
Call them up today. They're at Alabama Home Mortgage at 567-4223 and get pre-approved. Doesn't take long.
No,
It's
not
not a
at
long
all.
process. And as you're going and looking at Christmas lights, you're doing something else too. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
You're also house shopping.
Yep.
And you'll actually understand, oh, here's how much house I can afford. Here's how much house I can actually purchase. And when it comes to refinancing, a lot of folks are stretched pretty thin with credit card debt right now, other forms of debt. If you're looking to get that off your back by using the equity you've built up in your home, Alabama Home Mortgage can help guide you through that. And of course, there's all sorts of reasons for refinancing. Again, go ahead and call Kim and Madeline today and let them get to know you and your goals in refinancing that home. So when you want to pull the trigger next year, everybody already is on the same page. You're ready to go. You got the target in sight. So call them today, 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or you can always visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies like Kim and Madeline. Prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, But whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
This is your roving reporter. Today I'm at Santa's workshop speaking with an elf. Ho, 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 man. I guess the pay scale for you elves is pretty good. We do okay. And I'll bet you've got a top-notch money man watching after your dough. Me and all my little elf buddies use David Ernest. I understand he's the most beloved money man in the Southeast. Or just about anywhere, man. And you can call him toll-free at 833-596-7233. That's right, man. And those last 4 digits spell out the word SAFE, which is what your money can be if you call David E. And I see you are busy making some toys. Have you ever had another job here at the North Pole? I used to work in bookkeeping, handling the money, you know, but I got fired. Why did you get fired? I kept coming up short, man. You know you're going to get a lump of coal in your stocking, right? Oh, I got your lump of coal right here, man. Ho, ho, ho!
Now you can add the power of digital advertising to the #1 reach of radio. Let Blue Water's 20 years of local advertising and marketing success show you how. Grow your business with a complete suite of digital solutions, combined with the reach of the most listened to radio group in the River region. Call us or go to BlueWaterBroadcasting.com to find out how we can increase your return on investment. Blue Water Broadcasting, local folks helping local business.
For more information, send an email to digital@bluewaterbroadcasting.com.
Happy holidays from Marguerite's. And every year we do an unbelievable $99 Christmas special. And it's got to be 14 karat white or yellow gold, and it's got to be high quality Marguerite's diamonds. Well, this year it's the best one ever. It's individual 14 karat letters that we've cut out and added a 7-point diamond to on a 14 karat necklace. Impossible. That's right. All the initial diamond necklaces, $99 at Marguerite's till Christmas.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
We get Montgomery talking 24 hours a day. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Y'all stop sending me stuff about Loudermilk. It's not a real name. Talking to you, Andy.
Are you getting the family crest and everything?
Yeah, I mean, I'll get into it in a second. Let's go to Michael Cohen from Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. Hey, Michael, how you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. How are y'all?
Pretty good, man.
Doing all right. And I haven't asked you in a second, what's the score there today at Cohen's?
Score there is 35-3. Michael Jackson's been out there. He's been humping it.
I bet he has.
And anyway, he got finished on a couple early, and we were actually able to get somebody that we actually had scheduled for after Christmas. He could get in touch with them and got them bumped up, and so anyway, instead of having to wait, now they're going to get it today.
Nice.
So, a lot of times, the stars all line up, and, it's the hard jobs that typically go easier for us, and it's the easy ones that we have a struggle here and there. But anyway, he gets them taken care of, and anyway, it's been good.
Now, do you expect a mad dash right here before Christmas? Because I think it's a week from today, right?
Oh, I think so.
That's right. I mean, typically before holidays, what happens is people that don't use their equipment on a regular basis call us up, and they freak out because they haven't tested it, and all of a sudden, but that'll probably happen on Monday and Tuesday.
Okay.
And it's typical. And same thing happens in the appliance world. It's like they haven't used their oven in a year,
right?
But all of a sudden they're going to use it now, and I need a new baking element or a new igniter. So Yeah, we don't have those issues in the radio business.
No, well, that's a longer conversation.
Get ready to show up.
Yeah, well,
everything is in a line.
I'm good for the rest of the year. I told you, I'm out of days. Come New Year's, we got a whole new thing going on.
The rest of the year.
Yeah.
Week and a half. No.
I'm committed.
No, he told me.
committed.
He told me just a second ago. I'm ready to work on Christmas Day. I'm like, oh, how mighty whitey. All right, thanks.
Put me in, Coach.
Thanks for that. Folks, if y'all want to check out what's going on there at Cohen's Electronics and Appliances, you can always shop from home at thinkcohens.com. And maybe you find something online, just call them up, 277-8890. They can take care of you. But there's nothing like actually stopping by the Boulevard, 2515 Eastern Boulevard here in Montgomery. They're open 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 on Saturdays. And be sure to find Michael. Be like, hey, I heard you on that radio show with Joey. And Eddie was there that day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's been good lately.
He has been.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Christmas bonus was coming up. I had to shine.
Oh, that's what it was. Who knew that Joey was so generous?
I wasn't shining for Joey.
Merry Christmas, Michael.
Thank you, Michael.
You too. Take care.
See you, brother.
272-9228. Coming up, Senator Rand Paul took to the Senate floor and gave a great speech. Play a little bit of that coming up. Also, do you remember Casey and Callie Means, the brother-sister team? One's a doctor, one's a top-flight lawyer. They used to work inside the system, so to speak. But they're now teaming up with people like RFK Jr. For MAHA, for making America healthy again. And I believe it is Callie Means, the brother, who was making the case. Like, here's the breakdown. The U.S. is 4% of the world's population. We account for over 70% of worldwide pharmaceutical profits.
Yep.
And rank 60th in the world in life expectancy. This math isn't adding up. We'll get into that and much more after the top of the hour break. Don't forget about Canada.
That's right.
This conservative guy who's challenging Trudeau.
Dude.
I had a feeling Trump's called him up. It's like, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to continue to troll and say Canada wants to be the 51st state and undermine Trudeau, and then you can slide on in there, Pierre.
I think the people really like Pierre. He's had.
I like Pierre,
Me too.
and I'm not usually one to like Canadian.
Well, he's had
politicians.
He's been able to put it down there where the goats can get it.
Yeah.
I really like the guy. I do.
So y'all stay tuned. More news and views in the afternoon. After this.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. The Federal Reserve cut its key interest rate by a quarter point, but fewer cuts coming next year, largely because of still elevated inflation. Wall Street has taken a nosedive. The mystery has not been solved. The drones continue flying over New Jersey and other states. President Biden will only say that there appears to be nothing nefarious about the flights. In a secret vote, the House Ethics Committee deciding to release the ethics report into ex-Representative Matt Gaetz. The allegations against the Florida Republican could be made public in the coming days. Gaetz denies any wrongdoing. The college football playoff gets started this week with 4 games. The opening round includes first-time participants SMU, Indiana, Penn State, and Tennessee. On Wall Street now, stocks are lower, the Dow dropping 275 points. This is SRN News.
Our nation's problems have been building for the past 50 years, and they're not going away overnight, which is why we must prepare now for a financial collapse that will affect the entire economy. The good news is there's an easy way to do that. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and I believe everyone should consider a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group to diversify their IRA or 401k. Gold is a proven bedrock in almost every kind of economy. To learn more, get a free info kit from my trusted friends at Birch Gold by texting the word PREPARE to 989898. Don't wait until decades of government irresponsibility comes crashing down on your retirement. Get your free info kit on gold IRAs from the Birch Gold Group now. Text PREPARE to the number 989898. That's prepare to 98989.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Riverside Chevrolet Wetumpka. If it's Chevy, it's Riverside. Best price, best selection. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net.
Our amazing December warmth will soon be a thing of the past. Changes ahead. Today's high temperature in the middle 70s with limited sunshine and some widely scattered showers possible today and into the evening hours tonight as a cold front moves through. Overnight low temperature tonight down to about 46. Sunshine noticeably cooler, 63 tomorrow. We're back to the 30s on Thursday night. Friday's high near 60 perhaps, more sun, then even colder over the weekend as winter officially begins with a high temperature only in the lower 50s Saturday and Sunday. Will be in the upper 20s on Saturday and Sunday night. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
CB&S Bank has a long history of stability and a legacy of serving our community's needs for generations since we began in 1906. At CB&S Bank, we're here for you. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
1819 News.
The third couple to file a lawsuit against an in vitro fertilization clinic regarding the destruction of the frozen embryos have now motioned for their case to be dismissed. District Judge Jill Phillips granted that request this week. It's not clear if that couple had some sort of out-of-court settlement with the in vitro fertilization clinic. This is the last of 3 cases that have been filed against the IVF clinic in Mobile regarding the destroyed frozen embryos. The lawsuits were filed after the Alabama Supreme Court ruled this past February that an embryo created through IVF has the same protections as an unborn child. Since then, at least 2 of the couples who filed a lawsuit against the IVF clinic have reached an out-of-court settlement. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
I'm Amy Beth Schaefer with Alabama Unfiltered Radio, and when I need the news and I need it fast, I turn to Andrea Tice and the Daily Detail. On my way in, it is the most convenient, best way for me to digest what's going on so that I can use it for our show. She tells you what's going on in Alabama that day first and fast. So listen to the Daily Detail with Andrea Tice. Don't miss out.
The Daily Detail is available wherever podcasts are found.
The president of the Parent Teacher Organization, or PTO, at a school in Semmes has now been arrested for identity theft and fraudulent use of a credit card. 37-year-old Allison Ledger is accused of misusing funds from the Semmes Elementary School PTO and also using another PTO member's identity in order to take that money. An investigation was launched when the treasurer realized the funds were missing. An inmate has died at the Houston County Community Corrections Center. That inmate is identified as 45-year-old Jerome Boykin Jr. Boykin was found unresponsive on Monday night. An autopsy is now underway to determine the cause of death. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number 1 in the number 2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Dirty carpets, Peaches and Clean. Dirty area rugs, Peaches and Clean. Dirty Oriental rugs, Peaches and Clean. Dirty tile and grout, Peaches and Clean. It's time to get your carpeting, rugs, tile, and grout back in shape. Give us a call at Peaches and Clean, 277-6937. Powerful carpet cleaning, peachesandclean.com.
It's Johnny from Sinclair's on Bond Road. We've been in business almost 30 years.
Sinclair's East. Vaughn Taylor.
I think if you hadn't tried us, you should give us a try. We've got a great menu, offered anything from chicken fingers, wings, salads, fajitas. At lunchtime, we do great country lunch with different vegetables and different meats every day.
Sinclair's, where you get great sandwiches and our daily meat at 3 special at lunch, to great pasta, chicken, steaks, and seafood for dinner.
Our most popular items are, we got a soup called she crab soup, which is extremely popular. We've got a bunch of pasta dishes, which people love. Mediterranean chicken is my favorite.
Sinclair's.
We do live music, light stuff on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and then on Fridays and Saturdays, maybe 3-piece bands or 4-piece bands.
Come see why Sinclair's has seen lesser restaurants come and go over the years. Johnny Sullivan Sinclair's, at the corner of Vaughn and Taylor. Find them on Facebook at Sinclair's East. Google search Sinclair's Restaurant. Sinclair's.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. That's 334-272-9228. You can always watch online, comment online. Joey Clark Live on YouTube or at The Joey Clark on the X platform. Again, that's at The Joey Clark on the X platform. This just started going viral on X. It's Vivek Ramaswamy giving a message about this bill. We'll get to Rand Paul in a second, but first let's hear the short clip from Vivek.
Congress is about to pass a bill that blows away your taxpayer money, but they made it over 1,500 pages long so you wouldn't read it. I did you a favor. I read it for you.
It's supposed to be about keeping government operations open and providing disaster relief aid to hurricane victims, which I'm sympathetic to. But if you read the bill carefully, it contains pay raises for members of Congress, and I'm not making this up, an expansion of their federal health benefits. It contains all kinds of special interests and pork funding, including opening up a new stadium in Washington, D.C. It renews the Global Engagement Center, which is a key node of the censorship industrial complex. And the worst part is, they didn't want you to know about any of it, and that's why they made this a last-minute jam job. The reason I'm co-heading DOGE is I think we need outsiders to bring actual accountability to Washington, D.C. So feel free to call your congressman and let him know how you feel about it.
That's a good idea. I think that everybody should be
A new stadium, really?
Joey, the old one's like 2 years old, and I hear there's mold.
By the way, that is it's notorious. It's like, well, build a new stadium, huge economic development.
Isn't it?
Well, we'll bring the Olympics here, huge economic development.
Whitewater Park, Joey.
I didn't want to go there, but you know what
It's the same thing. It's just a smaller scale.
Yeah, it's huge economic benefit to a particular few people who get the job to build the thing that everybody else is footing the bill for.
Yeah.
But is it sustainable over time?
No.
That's the damnedest thing. Like, how do you think you're going to grow an economic base in, say, parts of the country where you don't have as much as you like, but the main thing you're trying to build up for that economic base literally is in the red every year? Is operating at a loss.
At that point, the government really needs to get out of it, because that's usually what's holding things up, and let the free market go. And if it's a true economic zone, it will grow. But if it's crap, it will remain crap.
Indeed. Now, I want to go to Rand Paul. This is his speech he gave from the Senate floor. Maybe this guy will come on in and be willing to filibuster this monstrosity of a bill. In fact, I think Rand Paul should wear a Santa outfit.
Oh, that'd be good. That'd be good. By the way, you got a fetish for Santa outfits here lately or something?
No, not really.
Third or fourth one.
Fetish? Why would you even bring that up?
Third or fourth one you talked about.
I think it is the season.
Okay. I mean, I like Santa too, but an obsession over the outfit.
Somebody needs to wear a Santa outfit and have some fun on the national political stage. That's all I'm saying.
I can get behind that, especially this.
You need to mix hardball with having silly fun. That's the combination that we need. Think of what Trump's done. He mixes the hardball with the silly fun.
Yeah.
So here's Rand Paul. Let's see if he's playing hardball or just having silly fun or both.
From Kentucky. We are currently considering the defense authorization bill. We have considered this most years annually for many decades. Typically, though, we'll have a robust debate. We'll have amendments offered, and we'll try to have participation by senators from all over the United States geographically represented in the debate. That won't happen this year. There will be no debate. It'll be very controlled and circumscribed, and there won't be amendments. This is disappointing to me because I think there are some very important issues that need to be brought up, and one of those is emergency powers.
See, this passed. In fact, I think I got something from Senator Britt's office talking about, oh, it secured certain assets here in Alabama and more money for veterans with mental health. Okay.
That's the good.
Great.
Give me the whole thing.
What else is in it?
Right. Give me the whole thing.
Let's hear Senator Paul.
Our founding fathers understood that it was very important to divide these powers between the executive branch, the legislative branch, and the judiciary. Over the past 100 years, though, we've had a gradual evolution of these powers towards the executive branch, and we now have a very, very strong executive branch that in many ways is able to control the narrative and ultimately to control the country. In the 1970s, Frank Church wrote these words, which I think represent a problem that existed then and even more so now. He wrote, "Hundreds of statutes clothe the president with virtually unchecked powers with which he can affect the lives of American citizens in a host of all-encompassing ways. This vast range of powers, taken together, confers enough authority on the president to rule the country without reference to normal constitutional processes. Under the authority delegated by these statutes, the president may seize property, organize and control the means of production, seize commodities, martial law, seize and control all transportation and communications, regulate the operation of private enterprises, restrict travel, and in a plethora of particular ways, control the lives of all American citizens." These words were written by Senator Frank Church in a 1977 Law Review article, but they're still true to this day and even more worrisome. The Church Committee's investigatory work was famously convinced many in Congress that the time had come to reassert congressional checks and balances on the executive that had become all too powerful. It's ironic that the powers that be still conspire to this day to hide the work of the Church Committee. I've been trying for over a year to read the classified version of the Church Committee. All right, this is not some sort of new document. This is a document from 1976. But the powers that be have prevented me for over a year from reading the classified report.
Wow.
You got to wonder, does that mean they have something to hide, or does that mean that they love power so much that they don't want to share it?
Yep.
They're a criminal organization that uses Congress and the consent of the people as a front. It's like they skinned the Constitution and they're wearing it as a skin suit. Excuse me, pardon me. A hermit crab burrowed in, and there's the Constitution all wrapped around it. It's awful. And even elected members are kept in the dark. Let's hear them out.
The National Emergencies Act of 1976 was supposed to be a reform of presidential emergencies. It was supposed to limit the power of presidents. In that act, they actually gave a legislative veto. If an emergency were invoked by a president and the majority of Congress voted it, they would be legislatively able to reject that emergency. The court ultimately ruled, though, that that would have to be signed by the president, effectively meaning that if a president declares an emergency, a majority of us say we don't think that should be declared, he vetoes it. It now takes 2/3 of us to overcome a presidential emergency. This is a very high bar and makes it nearly impossible to stop a presidential emergency. Essentially, the National Emergencies Act enforcement mechanism became toothless when the court got rid of the legislative veto. Subsequently, Congress must muster this veto proof or 2/3 vote. To thwart a rogue president, it currently takes a 2/3 majority vote in both houses to overturn a veto. This is a very high bar. Consequently, we live in a country Frank Church would barely recognize. In some ways, the United States of America is a monarchy in disguise. The United States maintains the veneer of a constitutional republic, but often operates as an elected monarchy in which the president exercises awesome and unchecked power by decree and in perpetuity. If you look at the emergencies on the books, some of them have been on the books for 50 years. If you look at the potential emergencies that could be declared, you would be shocked. This dangerous imbalance of the constitutional separation of powers is not simply aggrandizement by the executive branch. It is something that Congress has actually been complicit with. Congress has essentially made itself a feckless branch of the federal government by granting the president so many emergency powers and refusing to regularly vote on the termination of national emergencies as required by current law. The emergencies go on and on. Our concern should not merely be to restore Congress to its proper role in our place of Madisonian system of government. Rather, our true focus should be to restore the founders' vision of a government of limited and diffuse powers that is devoted to securing our inalienable rights. A government that disperses power among separate, distinct, and competing branches is a government that is less likely to violate our liberties.
Well, and I would even quibble with Senator Paul here, saying it's not quite even an elected monarchy, because the president often wants a lot of things done.
Yeah.
And it can't get done.
Bureaucrats, crap.
So, wait, the bureaucrats don't have to listen to the president, and then when the bureaucrats go before members of Congress like Senator Paul or any other elected official, it's not like those congressmen can or senators can actually control them.
No, in fact, usually those bureaucrats turn around and kind of laugh at them, knowing that, hey, you'll be out of here in a couple of years. I'll still be here.
Right. So it's not even like you have kings or presidents that are out of control acting like a monarch.
Mm-mm.
Nor is it like, okay, there's too much going on with Congress. It's more like this fourth branch of government has been created that's quasi-legislative, quasi-judicial, quasi-executive that rules the roost in Washington, D.C.
Inmates are running the asylum.
Huh. Interesting how that works. And I mean, how are the results, though?
Crap.
Really?
Crap.
Well, here's an example. How healthy are Americans?
I'm fat. You're fat. We're all fat.
I'm not that fat. What are you going to say? I'm still fat?
Nope.
Okay.
You said you're not that fat.
I'm a little fat, yes.
Okay.
How would you describe fat?
Me?
You?
Guy that eats what he wants, when he wants, no discipline in it whatsoever.
Well, then I'm fat. Like,
yeah. Spoiled fat.
There you go.
First world fat.
So there's that.
Yeah.
But then, you think about what is this corrupt cabal running things? Maybe it's certain interest group. I don't know. Let's listen in.
Jeez.
This is the voice of Callie Means, top flight lawyer who worked for a lot of these industries and realized I'm the bad guy.
Yeah.
I need to stop being the bad guy. I need to call these folks out. Yep. Mm-hmm. So, but are we winning wars?
Depends on what your definition of winning.
Yeah. Are like everyday people, are the wages going up?
Nope.
It's easier to pay the rent.
Nope.
It's easier to put food on the table.
Nope. Harder than ever.
In fact, this is kind of what people voted for, to get rid of this sort of thing. This is why they voted for Trump in big ways.
Yeah, but when the people you voted out still have a couple months to screw things up, they're going to get you back.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
and without any sense of like, I'm the bad person.
No, I love America. That's why I'm doing this to you.
Right. So you got to wonder who are going to be like the big bad guys that at least, are the front people for this criminal organization that runs the country. Who are going to, like, stand up, like Democrats? They're going to stand up and be like, I'm fighting back against all this.
Very few, period, a Democrat or Republican, Joey.
Well, there's a certain someone named, I think her name is Pocahontas.
Poca?
Let's listen in.
Here is this man, richest man in the world, who has multiple companies. So he's got Tesla, the electric car maker. He's got X. He's got...
Oh, she's talking about Elon Musk. Elizabeth Warren from Massachusetts, folks, otherwise known as Pocahontas.
Neuralink. He's got SpaceX and a handful of other companies. Those companies are directly involved with the United States government. Millions and millions of dollars worth of government contracts, millions of touch points where there are rules that will affect those companies, like a $7,500 rebate for electric cars. Investigations that are currently ongoing into the practices of each of those companies and, in some cases, into Mr. Musk himself. And here he is whispering into the ear of Donald Trump. So what is he whispering? Is he whispering, here are ways to help the American people? Or is he thinking through ways to make those companies richer, to back off the regulators, or to end any investigations into his work? This is conflicts of interest at a level that we have never before seen in this country.
You're a corrupt witch. You act like you're for the everyday people.
Oh, she's awful.
But you are a stooge of this criminal organization that runs this country. Elon Musk has done much. He is a superior person to you, Liz Warren.
No doubt.
And this gets me hot under the collar. This idea of these folks, all they do is lie, manipulate, cheat, and steal. And because they win popularity contests in states where you could put a frickin' severed thumb up to run for Senate in Massachusetts as a Democrat and it would win. Let's see what the severed thumb has to say from Massachusetts. So you're not special, Liz, in any way. That sort of person has the audacity to go, well, he's just not playing ball with us.
Right.
What have you ever created, woman?
Nothing. Debt.
And all these investigations he wants to stop. Why is it as soon as he bought Twitter, it's now X, all these investigations pop up?
Mm-hmm.
Why is it he can fire frickin' rockets into low Earth orbit, has brought down the cost a lot more than the government was able to do it, and the FAA can't file frickin' paperwork as fast as he can fire off his rockets?
Because of people like her.
You're parasites. You're not good people. Merry Christmas. I've hated that woman for so long. So long. Thank God they're losing. And will continue to lose. It's that sort of mentality that's going to continue to impoverish the nation.
Oh, yeah.
It's that sort of mentality. The only way that you can help people is by making them desperate and dependent on our institutions. Which is what she's all about.
Oh, heck yeah.
It's a huge problem.
Our biggest problem with Elon Musk, or anybody for that matter, is he did it without the government. He didn't come to you hat in hand going, could you please help me? In fact, it went the other way around. They had to go to him.
Elon's now tweeting 11 minutes ago, shutting down the government, which doesn't actually shut down critical functions, by the way, is infinitely better than passing a horrible bill.
Yes, it is.
I agree.
100%. 100%.
I agree 100%.
If nothing else, it reminds those folks, hey, the American people, if nothing else, they are a speed bump.
Senator Paul has announced he will delay the passage of the massive omnibus spending bill if it clears the House.
Nice.
Potentially leading to a government shutdown if not passed by Friday.
Shut it down. Everybody gets a little bit extra time for Christmas if we shut it down.
And Vivek, the other member of DOJ, the co-consul, is saying more about what's in this bill. 72 pages worth of, quote, pandemic preparedness and response policy.
Yep.
renewal of the Global Engagement Center, a key player in federal censorship, 17 different pieces of commerce legislation, facilitating a new football stadium in D.C., a pay raise, and an expansion of federal employee health benefits for members of Congress.
Just one question about this football stadium. How in the world will any citizen that lives outside of D.C. ever see the benefit of that stadium? Why in the world should I have to contribute one red penny to that?
These people are criminal. It's not, oh, they're misguided. No, they're criminal. They will use whatever means necessary. And their favorite one is to hold people who really are in need hostage so they can get away with robbing everybody else blind.
Well, you hear things like there's benefits for veterans, there's pay raises for the armed services. Those are the things that they tease you with. Oh, so to make you feel good, oh, we need to pass this. They don't tell you the BS that's on the other side that's good for them and their cronies. Crooks, man.
272-9228. Yeah, can you imagine Santa coming down the chimney? Oh. Wait, just milk and cookies? No, unless you give Santa your savings account.
Right.
Then I'm not giving you your presents this year.
Not going to happen.
That doesn't sound like Kris Kringle to me.
That sounds like Congress.
272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services. And there at Pest Pro, Ashley and that great team are ready to help you with any and all of your pest control needs. Christmas is only a week away.
Ooh, yeah.
And you want to make sure that home is ready to go when the family shows up.
Very true, Joey.
Especially the very critical in-laws.
And we're having these kind of warm, moist spells like this, and it's going to get cold again. So La Cucaracha's come back out. I saw mosquitoes at my house yesterday. You don't want to have a family event, and then they're over there swatting or fighting ants, or all pointing at the La Cucaracha that's laying dead in the middle of the hallway that you hadn't picked up yet.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want that.
Especially your mother-in-law.
Oh, she's going to remember. She'll probably take a picture and post it.
Like there are ants in your kitchen. I don't feel like this isn't clean.
Right.
What? So if you don't want any problems like that, Pest Pro Services has your back, 265-9990. But you might as well, when you call them at 265-9990, just make them your everyday pest control company.
Good idea.
Have them on, speed dial for emergencies, but also just regular visits to make sure your property is jam up and jelly tight, as the song says. So again, that number, 265-9990, or you can always go to ppsriverregion.com or just search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces. When you want to know, call a pro. Pest Pro Services. And be sure to tell Ashley and that great team that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you. Yeah, I'm so looking forward to the high and mighty Democrats like Elizabeth Warren giving us lectures about these conflicts of interest.
Not the whole reason we elected Trump, so we don't have to hear from people like her no more.
Still a free country where you can speak your mind.
Yeah, but you don't have to cover it. You don't have to put it on the news.
Yeah, well, it's the world we live in.
We don't put every crazy person on the news. We do put a lot of them.
Yeah. Well, you're the media now, which drives the old corporate media crazy. They really are going crazy.
Oh, yeah.
From all this. You remember Leslie Stahl?
Yes, I do remember Leslie Stahl.
Yeah, I didn't get to this clip. I think it's Leslie Stahl and Peggy Noonan. And these two old bats are sitting here just kind of kvetching about, the times they're changing.
Almost everything you said is fraying. The press
Fraying, you're saying.
fraying.
Yeah, totally. And has been
And as I said,
for 20 years.
Well,
I
the
mean,
press for 20
nothing's going to stop you from being the free press.
Well, you really are a sunny person, aren't you?
Sunny.
Well, I'm very worried about the press, extremely worried about the press.
Not only for the technological reasons we're all worried about, and not only for the financial tectonic plates moving, but for some other reason. What one?
Well, for example, I once asked Donald Trump, why do you keep pounding on the press? This was right after he won in 2016. You know, it's kind of boring. You say the same thing over and over, and you won. You know, it's time to drop it. Why do you do it? And he said, I do it and I repeat it because
the more I do that, the less people are going to believe you.
Yeah.
When you say
Yes.
negative things about me and whatever else.
Totally.
And it's happened. If you watch the opinion of us, how many people trust the press anymore? I mean, we're way down there with the lawyers.
Yeah.
This is really rough,
Yeah.
as you know.
She still doesn't get it.
No, she don't. But people like her, they won't. Remember, Joy, she's here. Everybody else is here.
So, Leslie, was the Biden laptop
big time.
real or Russian disinfo?
Yeah.
Did they spy on his campaign or not, Leslie?
I'm waiting for him to go after her. He got Stephanopoulos, so.
Oh, there's more of that
There's
coming.
more. Yep.
You're way down there with Congress.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, we're way down there with Congress. But
Yeah,
we're way
because
down-
you're all part of the same corrupt system. You're a front for a criminal organization that runs this country. You, so many of the folks in the academic world that hide behind those rich endowments, and a lot of members of Congress, and a lot of those guys are lawyers.
Most of them are.
So the American people are very wise to what's going on. We just haven't figured out quite to put you all in your place. Maybe we've gotten close. It is remarkable listening to this old bat go, well, if you say something negative, what about things that are true, Leslie?
How long has she been in the press? Gotta be 40 years.
Yeah.
So if you lie to the people constantly for 40 years and they start calling you a liar, it's the people's problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's not you.
Well, now we can't just hold them hostage by having just 3 networks and a few newspapers. And I mean, it's because of that Rush Limbaugh guy.
Well, and also
and
when
it's
they,
because of all this internet stuff.
when they say that, and everybody knows this to be true, when they pretend like, oh, well, we were not tougher on Trump than any other candidate.
The hell are you
You're
talking
peeing
about?
on my leg and telling me it's raining and then mad because I'm calling you out on it.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way.
And I despair.
Mm.
Seriously, I worry greatly.
You should
and I
retire.
think there are other institutions that have been suffering. And you're right not to blame Donald Trump 100%, obviously. Started many years before. But we're at a point where if the President of the United States is going to say legacy media is dead, well, I guess Musk said that. Legacy media is dead.
And he wants it dead. He wants other media.
But it is kind of, sort of hobbling right now. And I don't know how it recovers.
Be
I'm
honest.
I'm very dark about it.
She can't figure out how to start a new lie.
Right.
Everything I throw out, they don't believe me.
272-9228. Now, this is going to be the test. It's what I was saying when the first appointments are coming out, is how much power does this new media have? They were able to pick a president and mobilize people to vote for a president that they wanted to throw a jail that, yes, I'm pretty convinced this criminal organization tried to shoot in the head.
No doubt, no doubt. They tried to ruin him financially every chance they got. And they still have not dismissed cases.
They tried to ruin his reputation like crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
good luck
Well,
with
his whole
that.
family. They tried to ruin his whole family.
Right. And yet, Trump still won, right?
Yep.
So this new media that Elon Musk especially heads up, thank you, Elon, was able to pick a president. Now, can they bring Congress to heel?
I sure hope so.
Can we keep that spirit of November 6th, 7th, and 8th, that week of victory? Take that spirit and bring these folks to heel in the Congress. But again, the Congress is just the front group.
Right.
The media is just a front group. We need to burrow in through room after room after room because it's kind of like Russian nesting dolls. Rooms within rooms within rooms. Compartments within compartments. Who's actually pulling the strings here? And we need to fumigate the place.
Yeah, no doubt. But I am glad that Musk came out and has put it out there on X that, hey, this bill is crap.
Yeah.
Just put it out there. This bill is crap. And
It
I'm
is
sure
crap.
that will trip some other people to start doing it as well. Because this is what we're doing for the United States citizens. It's more like this is what we're doing to the United States citizen. We're going to get 40% more out of them in a raise. We're going to make them build this stadium that we don't want, so we'll make them pay for it. How is that helping anybody? How can you tell me that you love the United States of America and its citizens and then vote for this?
Well, because they got you.
No, because they are a liar and they're comfortable in it.
There's that too. I think it's all mixed. I think there are folks that really know the game and they're happy to play it. There are others that are like, I wish we could do better, but what am I going to do up against this huge beast?
I agree. You start spilling the tea.
Right. And then you have a few folks like Nostradamus. Thomas Mask. Man, and he dropped a line that I have to play. That's just hilarious. Because I actually think he's pointing out one of the secret qualifications for Congress that doesn't often get talked about. It's a sort of willingness to do the dirty deed. Let's listen in to Thomas Massey here real quick.
Congressman, boy, is there a lot to cut. What do you think's going to be on the chopping block?
Oh, well, there is a lot to cut, but I'm going to warn you, I have Republican colleagues who'd rather run over their own mom with a car than to vote to cut spending. So the first trick is going to come up with a list of things to cut. I would cut everything that's redundant. Every state in the United States has a Department of Education. Why do we need a federal Department of Education? Cut that out. I've already got a bill to do it. So I hope Doge picks that one up. Cut out some of this foreign aid. Oh, my gosh.
Lord, yeah.
It's like, funding these other countries is like watering your neighbor's yard while your house is on fire.
Yep. Do we sound that way?
Yeah.
We do?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But they would rather run over their mom than cut the budget. Well, I would say to Thomas, well, you shouldn't have run for Congress unless you're willing to run over your mother. Because that seems to be the dirty little secret of you got to be willing to do what it takes. Play the game.
That's just it, though. I want to believe that they would set them all down and say, you are here to serve the American people and that type deal. But it's just the opposite.
We got to hit this break. Be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hey guys, this is Terrence Phillips here to tell you about my new business, Topspin Racket Sports, located in Zelda Place. You will find the largest selection in the Tri-County area of tennis rackets, pickleball paddles, strings, and a great demo program. Come see us at Topspin in Zelda Place.
Help solve unsolved crimes by watching Action 8 News. Look for our exclusive I-Team reports as we work with Central Alabama Crime Stoppers to solve murder mysteries and put criminals behind bars. Victims' families are counting on you to watch Action 8 News. Ever miss an Action 8 newscast? Catching up is easy with the free Zeem app. Watch the news live on your phone or see newscasts from the past 3 days. Download Zeem. Search for Zeem in your app store today and stay on top of what's happening from Action 8 News.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com. This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Celebrate the holidays with a Christmas Carol at Alabama Shakespeare Festival. Scrooge, Tiny Tim, and all your favorite characters return to the festival stage for this heartwarming lesson in forgiveness, generosity, and redemption. It's a joyful Christmas tradition for the entire family. On stage now through December 29th. Tickets at asf.net.
Hi, this is Don Duncan with Don Duncan's All-American Automotive and Tire. Just want to say a big thank you to Blue Water Broadcasting. They've been a big partner in our success. And again, thank you guys so much for all you've done for us. If you need anything, come see us. Again, this is Don Duncan with All-American Auto and Tire.
Radio works. It's as simple as that. Call us to find out how radio can work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network is brought to you by Ernest Financial.
If you're tired of losing your money in the stock market, call David Ernest,
334-279-7431. Ernest Financial, LLC.
Our amazing December warmth will soon be a thing of the past. Changes ahead. Today's high temperature in the middle 70s with limited sunshine and some widely scattered showers possible today and into the evening hours tonight as a cold front moves through. Overnight low temperature tonight down to about 46. Sunshine noticeably cooler, 63 tomorrow. We're back to the 30s on Thursday night. Friday's high near 60 perhaps, more sun, then even colder over the weekend as winter officially begins with a high temperature only in the lower 50s Saturday and Sunday. We'll be in the upper 20s on Saturday and Sunday night. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Thank you for voting ASC Credit Union the best credit union in the River Region 6 years in a row. As we celebrate our 70th anniversary, we are proud to be at the top of the list for the best credit union in the hearts of the communities we serve.
If it concerns your community, you'll hear about it on News Talk 93.1. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Now, we were just checking out all the comments folks were leaving for us online. Of course, you can always watch the show. You don't have to watch live. You can watch after the fact. Joey Clark live on YouTube or at the Joey Clark on X is where we post these every day. And Ralph wrote in from YouTube, I worry way less about millionaires that choose to work for the government for relative peanuts than the village idiots elected to Congress who somehow parlay their ignorance into millions of dollars. Well, sometimes whores make a lot of money.
Yeah, they do.
In fact, the people who really make the money, though, are the madams. I think it was, California after the earthquake in San Francisco? It was like one of the madams out there who helped rebuild the whole daggum city. She was so rich.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt that. That wouldn't surprise me at all.
So, yeah. Yeah, there are folks that don't have much going on upstairs who are willing to
but they're willing
prostitute themselves for a certain cause. Right. That tends to happen. Oh, no, I think we might have started here.
Oh, boy.
Something. Eric Anderson says, "What's your name, Ezekiel?" And then Romex Angler coming in, "Tony, you better not bring my mother into this." Beautiful. Beautiful. A. Simpson says, just sent Joey a messenger about louder milk. It's not, stop it with your, fine, I'll look up the message. You just sent it on Facebook?
Didn't you just ask everyone to send you all the information they could find on louder milk? I thought that's what you
No, I said it's a conspiracy, and I'm being messed with.
You wanted to get down to the bottom of it, so you needed all the information sent to you immediately.
He's saying these brothers are American musical duo, Louvin, Ira and Charlie Louvin, or Loudermilk. They're cousins to John D. Loudermilk, a Nashville Songwriters Hall of Fame member, Grand Ole Opry members, real name Loudermilk. If their real name's Loudermilk, why do they have a stage name?
Sounds like that's a cover story.
All the examples you could give me.
That sounds very
And, just because you're like, look, I've got mail sent to the Loudermilk resident, it's like, doesn't prove anything. You can put anything down as your name on your address.
Right. And I got a printer at home. I can print any address I want. Anybody's name on it.
I don't know why people are messing with me about this.
I think they need to send you more information. What's that email address you got?
Oh, it's apparently an Americanized form of a German. Lautermilch.
Milch?
Yeah. Lautermilch.
I can see that.
Okay.
It's not louder milk. It's louder milk.
Louder milk, yeah. So you thought the other thing.
I did. I was like, why is Joey doing this? But this one sounds a little more German.
But, we focus mostly on the United States today.
Yeah.
Talked a little bit about Alabama. It's a strange day where Democrats are supporting tax cuts and Republicans are arguing against them. Because we have to keep increasing the ever-increasing budget.
Do you remember the Democrats of old? They were the People's Party. Are they getting back to that?
But I think Trump's trolling of Canada is paying off. It's paying off big time. And I love this guy. What is his name? Pierre Poilievre?
Oh, yeah. Straight Pierre, man.
And I love this move too, because I believe somebody says, could you also answer this in French? And he doesn't.
No
he just
problem.
goes to the next question.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sure he speaks
this dude
French.
doesn't
But,
skip a beat, man.
but let's listen to this, because this applies very much to the conversation the United States is having right now with this crap bill right before Christmas.
So with CBC News, and Mr. Polyev, if you could also answer this question in French as well as English. The government is coming out with a $1.3 billion plan to address border
Isn't CBC the government subsidized, so state media? Okay.
Did you see him roll his eyes?
Do you think that's enough to stop Trump's tariffs? And if it was up to you, how much specifically would you spend on border security? What number would you put on it?
Well, you ask a classically CBC question, which is how much money can you spend on a problem? Well, that's the wrong question. That's exactly the question Trudeau has been asking for 9 years. It's the reason he's doubled our debt while making everything worse. For example, he spent $80 billion on housing affordability. Well, how'd that work? He doubled housing costs. He spent $60 million on his gun confiscation. 0 guns. He spent millions on a school food program that hasn't served a single solitary meal.
Yep.
So we should not judge a program based on how expensive we can make it. We should judge it by what it can do.
Right.
How many helicopters? How many drones? How many boots on the ground? That's the question I will be asking when I'm prime minister. And how do we deliver it for the lowest possible price to taxpayers? Wouldn't it be nice if we had a prime minister who said, we secured the borders, we put more boots on the ground, we stopped tons and tons of fentanyl from traveling back and forth, we arrested the terrorists, we shut down the organized crime, we reduced gun crime, and by the way, we did it with less tax dollars. That's how our mentality has to change. We have to stop judging politicians by how expensive they can make things and start judging them by the results they get. You went into a restaurant and had a terrible experience. The food was awful. You got food poisoning. The service was bad. You wouldn't walk out and say, but it was great because it cost me $1,000. And because it's the most expensive restaurant around, it must be the best. No, we judge the meal by the food on the plate and the service that delivered it. That's how I'm going to run a common sense conservative government. Next question.
Didn't answer it in French either. I love that. Next question.
Yeah, I really like him.
Well, that would be an amazing mentality to have for the United States as well. And mark my words, I'm not the only person who said this. What this criminal organization, which I'm sure has global reach, did to the United Kingdom, despite, democracy, did to Canada in the last decade or so, did to Australia, especially during the pandemic, did to the English-speaking world. That's what they wanted to do to America if Trump didn't win.
Yeah.
Speech controls would have been on board, more spending with less results, making you more dependent while your dollar doesn't go as far.
Honestly, you can look at Canada. That's exactly what's happening. That is the future.
And I don't have time for it. He gave another speech from the floor of their parliament.
Yes.
And that was just remarkable. Talking about everyday people. And talking about how you spend all this money and you don't do anything with it. Where's it going?
There's no accomplishment whatsoever with it.
So maybe because Trump did win, that this can bleed over into Canada, that this can bleed over into Europe.
It is bleeding over. There's no doubt in my mind. Look at
you don't have to put up with this criminal organization that in the name of compassion smothers you like a crazy mother. I want to say that 2 more syllables after mother, but I held it back. 272-9228. That's 334-272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by Smokehouse Pit Barbecue, and man, are they fantastic.
Yes, they are,
It's a great place for lunch. It's a great place for dinner.
It's a great place for breakfast, Joey.
It is an amazing place for breakfast. I mean, all of the food. Every time I've gone there, I've been very, very happy. Every time I've taken family members to Smokehouse Pit Barbecue.
Bet they're impressed.
Even the critical ones. Like my Uncle Dave is not easy to impress, and if he doesn't like something at a restaurant in a fun way, he'll definitely say so. He tried the camp stew when he was in town.
Yeah.
He loved it. He's just like, oh, give me another helping of this. I love it when the critical family member is impressed.
Yeah.
So whether it's great barbecue, they've got 5 brick pits, hand-pulled meats, best barbecue in the river region, or you're looking for breakfast, and that breakfast is down home.
Yeah,
it's a classic Southern breakfast done very, very well. All the breakfast meats.
Eggs any way you want them.
Oh, yeah.
The grits, we know the cheese grits are something special.
Remarkable.
Had that, what was it? The Conecuh omelet I had was amazing. It's just a delicious place to eat, but I still want to try the Fat Boy Challenge. I really do.
Yeah, we do
Joey.
need to do
we
that
need
soon.
to. If we're going to eat a big breakfast like that, do it early. That way we got all day.
I think last time you and I went, I got cheese grits, I got a Conecuh biscuit with American cheese, and I might have got a side of bacon. And I
bet you
love
did.
them because their side are 3 big pieces of bacon. None of this
Crispy
little
bacon,
bitty 2 pieces.
Right.
3 big pieces of not too crispy, not too limp, in between crispy and limp, as they say. They do it right there at Smokehouse Pit Barbecue. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. Y'all check them out. You can always go to smokehousepitbarbecue.com or check them out on the Book of Faces, or just stop by there, the same location. They've always been Main Street in Millbrook. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, made you hungry and sent you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage.
And I'm Madeline Cannon. It's true, rates aren't as low as they have been for the past couple of years, but there are still many homeowners that could benefit from refinancing their current mortgage. There are a lot of things in life that are out of our control, but your mortgage rate is not one of them. If you currently have an adjustable rate mortgage, then you owe it to yourself to give us a call.
Adjustable rate mortgages make sense for some people in stable markets, but in this wild, ever-changing rate environment, it only makes sense to secure a fixed interest rate. A fixed interest rate will give you the peace of mind that your rate is locked. Your rate will not be subject to change with the political and economic tides.
At Alabama Home Mortgage, you can personalize your term. We offer 8-year to 30-year mortgages and everything in between. Grab your mortgage statement and give us a call.
Call Alabama Home Mortgage, the #1 mortgage lender in Alabama, today at 567-4223, or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. That's Alabama Home Mortgage, because folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
Happy holidays from Marguerite's. And every year we do an unbelievable $99 Christmas special. And it's got to be 14 karat white or yellow gold, and it's got to be high quality Marguerite's diamonds. Well, this year it's the best one ever. It's individual 14 karat letters that we've cut out and added a 7-point diamond to on a 14 karat necklace. Impossible. That's right. All the initial diamond necklaces, $99 at Marguerite's till Christmas.
Dirty carpets, Peaches and Clean. Dirty area rugs, Peaches and Clean. Dirty Oriental rugs, Peaches and Clean. Dirty tile and grout, Peaches and Clean. It's time to get your carpeting, rugs, tile, and grout back in shape. Give us a call at Peaches and Clean, 277-6937. Powerful carpet cleaning, peachesandclean.com.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is #1 in the #2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
News and talk without the static. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Now, I'm not going to say too much. All I'll say is I saw your comment, and I'm on to you, Cooter. I'm on to you, Cooter. That said, let's go to Bart from Prattville Carpet. Hey, Bart, how you doing?
Doing good. How about you guys?
Pretty good. Life's all right, other than all the nonsense up in D.C., but, personally, things are good.
Oh, man. Hadn't been able to keep up with it today.
Don't feel bad.
Consider yourself blessed.
Yeah, do yourself a favor. Don't even look, man. Don't even look.
Don't do it.
Yep. So how are things at the store this afternoon?
Everything's going great, guys. Ray's still out of town, so if you're looking for a deal, now's the time.
Now's the time.
All
When the
right.
boss is away, the boys will play with the discount. Let me tell you, man. Now,
sure,
are
for
you,
sure.
let me ask you, Bart, are you going to give as good a discount as Chad does?
Well, Chad says he has the best discounts, but we'll just have to see.
All right. Put pen to paper side by side. I like that.
That's right.
So whether it's carpet or all sorts of different types of products, if it's a resurface job from ceramic tile, luxury vinyl plank, laminate products, but the number's still 285-8117?
That's it, guys. If you want that free quote, just give us a call and you'll have it the next day.
Beautiful. Or you can always stop by 2201 College Ford Road, folks. Well, I appreciate it, Bart.
Thank you, Bart.
Again, folks, raise out of town. Go take advantage of these great deals.
That's exactly right.
Y'all have a good day.
You too, Bart. See you, buddy.
272-9228. I like that little competition between the guys in the office.
That's the way it should be.
So did we learn anything today?
Fed's cut the interest rate by a quarter point. Oh,
Uh-oh.
nothing.
That's why the market's down 2.5%. 1,000 points on the Dow.
Yeah.
Bitcoin's
FBI,
holding up just fine, still over 100
I
grand.
think it was FBI that came out and said, hey, don't shoot the drones.
Yes, they did tell people of New Jersey that.
Which
Somebody's
I'm glad-
going to shoot down one of those drones and be a true folk hero.
Here's the thing, though. If that thing's as big, let's say it's as big as a Volkswagen, thing's got to land somewhere. You hope it's a controlled landing. Like being a drone pilot, I can't fly over a crowd of people. The whole reason is my drone might fall out of the sky. So if you shoot one down, shoot it down over the water, maybe.
Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Joey, it's Woody.
Hey, Woody.
Hey, my last name's Woody Quieter Milk. I heard you've been making fun of our last name.
You're quieter milk?
He's quieter milk.
Yeah, the
What is that?
louder milks live across the river from us.
Yeah, it's kind of like the
We're the
Hatfields and
quieter
McCoy
milk.
of Germany.
I just wanted to wish y'all a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Woody.
Appreciate
All right,
it.
brother.
Love you, man.
Y'all have a good one.
You too, brother.
Got louder milks, quieter milks.
Softer milk.
Yeah, and we've got the Curd family as well. These fake names.
Well, they originate from Wisconsin.
Right.
The Kurds.
The Kurds. Wait, I thought that's a group in the Middle East.
They're similar but different.
Yeah. Similar but different.
Similar but different.
Yeah, they do it with the K.
That's right.
When we Americanize it. So I don't even know. So we learned about fake names.
Yeah, fake names.
We learned that a criminal organization clearly runs this country,
Not a-
and Congress is just a front group,
Not a doubt.
whether they like it or not. They're getting a pay raise, though, so they're being bought off by
So-
the criminal org.
Let me ask you, you think it's going to go through? Or are we going to have a hero in the bunch?
Rand Paul could do something. Mike Lee could do something. I think it goes through the House.
I think it does too.
Because just look at that weenie Mike
I
Johnson.
really think it does too, man.
But if Rand Paul and Mike Lee and a few senators want to take the hits, maybe Tuberville will join in.
Yeah.
I'll love them.
Well, I appreciate Elon Musk has spoken up, and I hope, and I know he's probably not supposed to, he'll get a ton of crap. For it.
Trump to Fox News, totally against Seal.
All right, that's my man right there.
Donnie
That's my
from
man.
Queens has spoken.
That's what I needed to hear. Because now, those Republicans that have swore they're for Trump one way or the other, and the ones that we know are not really, here's where the division starts to happen.
Daddy's almost home.
Mm-hmm.
Better be paying attention. Well, but if all us kids do a bad thing at the same time, can Daddy punish all of us?
Yes, I've been through that. We voted on that. All of us got beat that night. It's not a good thing.
And on that note, which is a little TMI, sorry about the home life, bro. We got to get out of here. Because Happy Hour with Greg Budell and Rosie, they're next.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.